Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another transfer show. It's been a couple days. We took the weekend off. But you know what? I'm going to just enjoy the Champions League final because I don't really have any club I'm specifically supporting in that. And I was also on a bar crawl. So I thought, fuck it. Let me take Saturday off. And then Saturday turned into Sunday because obviously I had a beef with my hangover and I lost. So we took a few days off. But we're back here, we're back live, and that does mean that there is also a lot of news to get into. So we're going to be talking Ekitike, we're going to be talking Liam Delap, or just waiting for the Liam Delap announcement to be done, because I think the final parts of the medical were completed today. We've obviously got the Gittens talk. 50 million has been put up for Jamie Gittens, and I'm just a bit like, nah, personally, from what I've heard on him. But we'll discuss that one too. Goalkeeper links, we've got the whole Sancho situation. There's been Joao Felix updates. There's links with Noni and Jackson. There's Garnacho talks. There's Mark Gay links. There's a lot to get into today. A lot to get into. But big up every single one of you. Before we start off, we have to shout out Jerseys FC. Everybody head over to Jerseys FC for all your best available and affordable Chelsea and international kits. And all kits, basically. Just like the one that I am wearing right now. Everybody check out Jerseys FC. Big up to them. And big up to the chat. If you want to buy a man a coffee, get us a coffee. And if not, just hit the likes and enjoy the show. Big up Luanzi. Big up Vinush. Big up to Max. Big up to Fielder. Big up to Yaka. Big up to M3. Bro, there's so much in that new intro. Shout out to RSM for that as well. Big up to Blues for Life. No new links with Gyökeres. There was just a Record Portugal link from a few days ago. Matt Law said, I think interest might have improved on him from last season. But that's about it. Big up to Nana. Big up, man. Big up AMH. Big up Brendan. Big up Max. Big up to Sean for the donations. He says, we have been promised Waitrose M&S shop. Looks like we're stuck using our co-op and Spar loyalty card. That's crazy. That is fucking mental. Gittens links. Should be going for better. It's not even that. It's just a lot of the left-wing links don't really move me like that. And it's just, Gittens is one of them. Gittens is one of them that don't move me. But I've always said with a lot of these transfers, if we get the player, I will just let them cook. Because ultimately, when you're buying young players or players to this level, you have to give them a little bit of a rope to just do something with. The problem is with that as well, I'm also not going to gas it. I'm not going to gas it. Everything I've seen and I've heard about Gittens from Dortmund fans don't really give me anything to go off. I will let him change my mind because I had the same sort of belief with Duran. I had the same sort of belief with Rodion. And then you go a couple months into the season, I'm wishing that we brought them to the club. So I do see that side of it. But I'm also not going to gas anything until you show me something to gas up. And as of right now, everything I see with Gittens, I'm not gassed. I'm not gassed. Really not. Anything is probably in reverse, but I give you a chance to prove me wrong. I always do. Always do. Big up Sean Newland saying these are top 4 targets, not competing targets. Not needle movers. That's it. You have to see if they can move the needle. High risk, high reward, man, especially when we're looking to take the step up to winning the league. High risk, high reward. You just better hope we're on the side of reward, innit? Liao's the only left-wing needle mover available, and even he comes with like certain like deficiencies because like he's not great out of possession at all. Very, very lazy. So he ain't really the perfect one either. It's just you can get GNA off him. You can get that. Good dribbler, good creator, can finish well too. Strong on the ball and all of that. But yeah, HR, you said it perfectly. Like the winger market just ain't great. That's why, again, I'm just not going to gas anything that's in front of us. I'll just let them have the chance to do something. And that's about it. That is about it, personally. But Yeah, I mean, I guess we've already spoken about Gittens, so we'll probably just start off with there. I just need to get the tweet up. I just need to find wherever that tweet is. Where is it? Where the hell is it? Because there's just a lot of people talking about how much they're just not with it on Twitter. I actually can't find the tweet. Pies, we'll go to Pies because he'll probably have it. Noni Madueke stuff. Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, this one will do. Yeah, Scott. I listened to what Jez said as well. That just added it. That just added to all that I already heard. Because I saw enough from Dortmund fans where they were talking about how he gave up halfway through the season. They think he's a strong dribbler, good, strong, fast dribbler, but the IQ just isn't there for his age. Isn't great off the ball. Apparently doesn't really press like that. And is just a little bit too raw for what we're looking for right now. So we're in talks with Dortmund over Jamie Gittens, and we want the deal done before the Club World Cup. We have Dortmund looking for around 50 million. And that is basically where we are at with him. And again, from what I've read with him, like maybe a better dribbler than Noni, maybe. But the end product still seems to leave a lot to be desired. Dortmund fans have spoken about how he's greedy in possession. His IQ hasn't been great. Scott also said, I saw that from Jez too. He said he's the only manager the only attacker that hasn't improved under their newest coach. Like, I know I don't want to just jump off everything that the Dortmund fans are just saying because he's also leaving on a bad mark. Because he's already said early that he wants to leave Dortmund. He's already announced his departure internally. Like, he's made statements saying I'll be gone soon anyway. I'm definitely not playing here next year. And that's obviously going to leave like a bad stain in terms of the way that you're leaving. So I get that there's going to be that sort of feeling attached to it, which I do want to take into account where we're taking what Dortmund fans say with him. But I just think ultimately, I don't think he's ready. He might be able to do well out wide, but all I read from him is that he's one-dimensional. He hasn't really got the IQ. He's not great off the ball. The shot selection isn't great from him. And it just doesn't move me. It just doesn't move me. And again, I will say, like, there isn't really a left-wing option that does, but I'm just thinking, like, 50 million? No. I'm not with it, but if you bring him in, I'll let him see if he can change my mind. But no. Man says, but Madueke moves you, Lewis. When did I even say that? It's just, you know what? I'd probably stick with the devil I know compared to the devil I don't know, innit? Like, I know Noni. I know what I'm getting with him. Gittens, I don't know, and from what I'm reading, I'm not moved. Not moved. They switched styles halfway through the season. Savić played possession and he was their best player. Kovac plays counter and he isn't ready yet decision-making wise. Ready decision-making wise. Okay. Might add to the one-dimensional thing with him, innit? But look, if we sign him, we sign him. And I won't be against him from minute one. I never do that. I never, ever do that. I always give players the opportunity to show me something. But everything I'm reading, it just don't move it. Just don't move me. It is what it is. I shout out Charlie, man. Good to see you in here. Uninspiring and someone we could have got without Champions League football. That's the thing. They don't really like move me, but again, that's why I'm trying not to do too much because he is a young player with still a decent ceiling that could get better. He could, but I gotta see that. I gotta see that first before I really start getting gassed. Like, it is what it is. Like, I don't know which one we're gonna go for. It's either gonna be him or, to be fair, even the Garnacho links have gone a bit quieter. It's gone a bit more quieter. Like, I've seen with Garnacho that Napoli are early front runners, but we're just monitoring him, which is a bit more optimistic because it doesn't seem like there's as much of a press as there was in January. But maybe it does end up being Gittens. Maybe it does end up being Gittens. It is what it is. It is what it is. People use that same mindset for keeping Poch. Don't be a hypocrite. That's why I'm saying if he joins, I'm not going to be anti-Gittens from minute one. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from what I've read, the only things I've really seen from him are like the odd comps and that whole last 60 shots comp. That didn't move me either. But I am ready and willing to be proven wrong. You think I don't want to be wrong? If we get him and he balls out, great. Great. Then that was another young prospect that the sporting directors got right on. Brilliant for them. But I will have to see that. And I don't think it's wrong for me to want to see that first before I start getting gassed and going, yeah, Gittens, yay. From what I've seen and from what I've heard from Dortmund fans, just not great. Why call him Git Nacho? Because I looked at the shot selection that I saw from him and I wasn't moved. Same thing with Garnacho. And it's like, look, brother ain't played a minute for me. I don't have to gas him up. I don't. He ain't played a minute for my football club. You can change that for me. If he signs for Chelsea, I'll drop Git Nacho. And I'll be like, look, go do something for me. And we'll see what you got. We'll see what you got. As of right now, everything I've heard, most of what I've seen, nah. But again, I'm saying it for the 7th time because I want this to be the main point. I am willing to have my mind changed. I am willing to have my mind changed and see you show me something. Because I can tell that you want him. And if you're correct with it, great. Great. Absolutely great. Maldini, from what I've seen, the end product don't really move me. And from what I've heard, there seems to just be like a lot of like red flags with this one personally. Like people talking about how he doesn't really look good in terms of his end product. People are talking about how he looks very one-dimensional. His IQ isn't great. All just like end product and decision-making wise. And this is all stuff that I've heard from Dortmund fans. I'm trying to take all the attitude stuff with a grain of salt, just because he's ending in a bad note. And I know when you end in a bad note with one club, they're always going to cuss out your attitude. So I'm really trying to like throw that one to the side and just talk about what they're saying about him on the pitch. And what they're saying about him on the pitch still ain't great. Still ain't great. So like, look, maybe you could get a little bit better. Like, you are still, what, 20 years of age or something like that. This isn't going to be your base. But I'm not moved. I'm just not moved. But here's the thing. I think as well, right, with the way that this model is, sadly, that's probably going to be my mindset for like a lot of transfers. A lot of transfers. So, like, I'll try to be very careful with the way I assess it, because I'm not going to cuss out someone who's still got a long way to go in their development. That's more our fault for still having to rely on that, but do a bit more. Talent is defo there. I agree. He is a good dribbler. He is, from what I've heard, very strong, very fast. He got the PMP in his game and all of that. And, like, I think shot selection, like, still bad, but I think it's better off the left as opposed to right-hand side. And we have asked to see a bit more of that directness. It's just, look, this is what happens when you try to do the whole, I want to sign the player before they become 70, 80 million. We're now here getting them at this point and we're wondering if they're ready for us or not. It is what it is. It is what it is. But to save me from going round in circles on this, Reaper also, I'm sick of this. He's got potential. To a point. To a point. Because it is tiring not being able to be assured on a signing. I will say that. It is very fucking tiring. But there is also times where we kind of wish we took the jump. Like a Duran. Like an Omorodion, for example. Who a lot of us, myself included, was against bringing in the summer. But then by the end of the camp, by the start of the season, you go 2 or 3 months in, we would have wanted that profile. Maybe Gittens is that guy, maybe not. But if we get him, I have to just let him cook and see where he ends up. That's all you can do. With the younger players, I have to say, be with it, be against it. But like, you got to at least back them when they walk in. And then if they're shit, they're shit. If they're not shit, fairs. But I don't know. Who's already now left wing? Genuinely, I think it's just Leao. Every other option don't look great. Really don't look great. Nico Williams, we already know the situation. We are not going to give him the wages that he wants, and I don't even think he should be getting those wages. Garnacho, we already know. Miss me with it. I'm saying Rodrigo, I don't think he leaves before the Club World Cup is over, and that even depends on if Xabi Alonso wants to get rid of him. Because I realize a lot of people are saying like he could be going and everything. I haven't heard anything saying Xabi Alonso wants him gone. So why would that even be the case? Why would that even be the case? We can't keep saying everyone has potential. That's why you've got to go into more depth with it. That's why you have to go into more depth. Everyone has potential that we're looking at. But you just got to look at where they are in the sense of that potential. And in terms of Gittens, I think he's still pretty far off from what I'm seeing. But if this is the hill you want to die on, whatever, go die on it. Go die on it. We'll see if you respawn or not. We'll see if you respawn or not. It's one of those where you just have to just see how it happens. Is Leao on the market? Probably for the right amount. But that's the problem. It's for the right amount. And you're negotiating with Serie A clubs. So you already know what the fuck you're dealing with. You're going to get overpriced to death. So probably not a realistic option. Man are saying Lookman. Bro, Lookman links have died. I ain't heard a single thing about Lookman in weeks. People saying Ekitike. Ekitike, we're going to touch on that one in a little sec. But I don't think that one's going far anytime soon either. Gittens and Rodgers move Palmer back to right wing. Palmer right wing, Esteban is the depth. I'd be with it. But I guess that means Noni gets sold. And to be honest, these Noni Newcastle links are not going anywhere either. That's still about. That is still around. Big up JDN saying don't see our fans moaning about Esteban. We should back the recruitment. Could be another Palmer situation. This is why I'm not out from minute one. This is why. Because I know the younger players, they come with a ceiling, and you can also come across one of those ones. You can. That's why I'm not going to write off Gittens from being that sort of guy. We have seen transfers getting celebrated before, and it's come back to haunt them. We have seen that. So it isn't just the be-all and end-all. I just bring to you, right, all sides of the coin. I bring to you every single available sign. The positives, the negatives, you make your decision on that. But, that's my thing. If we get Gittens for 50 mil, I'm going to be like, oh, really? But I'm also going to be like, all right, go cook. Let's see if we can do something. Yeah, Jez, I listened to your voice notes as well. Big up for those as well. For those of you who don't know, Jez is Tottenham, unfortunately, but he is also Dortmund. So he's told me a lot about his thoughts on Gittens. And it's, again, part of the reason why I'm not that moved on it. It's part of the reason why. Stuff about the IQ, him not being great off the ball, very greedy in possession. All the forwards improving to the end of the season except for Gittens. So, pros and cons. It's as simple as that. Big up Jez though, man. Big up my guy. Big up Luwazi saying if there's no left winger that is good, then why not sign a right winger who is better than what we have and just sell one of those scrubs? Probably because we already got a right winger coming in Esteban. That's just it. Really. Should we even be looking at another right winger? We already have one coming in, and to be honest, another right winger when I just would rather have Palmer there if it came down to it. Yeah, I wouldn't really see the need for that. I'm saying Patty Bomber. What's Pat Altman got for us? The whole Gittens and Delap deals are being negotiated by Joe Shields and Maresca. No data or directors involved. Both City ex-youth players watched heavily this season. Yo, Joe Shields at his fucking old talent. Fair play, man. I hope you're correct, man. I really hope you're correct. Yeah, Breezy, that's the same thing for me. If he's here, I'll back him. And I just hope you do well. I hope you do well. I am never player or manager out from minute one. Never. I don't know who's going to be that fucking anomaly for me. It would genuinely have to be a Poch or Havertz returning for me to just be like, no, I'm out from minute one. Fuck off out of my club. Why are you back? But for more time, I'm just going to give you a chance. I always give you a chance. Big up Ilya saying everyone complaining in the chat are the same people who didn't want Duran, Samu, and laughed when we went for Palmer after falling short on Elise. Again, Ilya, big up for the donation. This is why I can't really be anybody out from minute one. Man are saying Garnacho in the chat. Oh, brother. That one would make me physically sick. But I'll be real, even him, I'd give him a chance. Even him, I'd give him a chance. I'd be like, look, go do something. I beg you, just prove me wrong. Otherwise, I'm just going to be disgusted with everything to do with this move. Everything to do with it. I don't want this shit. I don't know why you're here, but go prove everybody wrong, please. This would be the greatest, like, vindicate redemption story ever. Man is saying, I'm sorry, I'll be Garnacho out from... I won't blame you. I won't blame you, man. Every single one of you, I won't blame you. I won't. But I'll just be like, look, please just go cook, please. Otherwise, I swear, the rant streams you are about to see are going to be fucking generational. If you're the same fucking Garnacho I'm seeing at Man United. Go show me why they fucking paid money for you. But yeah, big up Ilya, man. Big up, brother. Big up CAA. Saying Gittens 74% of his shots are on target. Okay, but like they could be on target and P-rollers as well, for example. Like, or straight at the goalkeeper and all of that. Like, I've looked at the last fucking 40, 60 shots. I ain't been moved. I ain't been moved. Man are saying Pies tweet. What's Pies got for us? Benfica accelerates for the loan of Joao Felix. Oh, brother. Still not a permanent then. Still not a permanent. I'll get to that in a second. Let me get the rest of these super chats out. Big up to Bat. Big up, my guys. Saying I have a feeling they're going to use Chukwuemeka as part of the deal for Gittens. It would make sense for them financially. I've been hearing like Chukwuemeka or Sancho. Chukwuemeka or Sancho. Although with Sancho, we still don't know what's going on with the wage situation. We still don't know what the wage situation is. No way there's these Arsenal fans saying we're not serious about Gittens when you lot have been linked with Gittens as well. Allow it. Allow it. Yeah, Jez, we are not getting Jalde, man. We are not getting Jalde. So Benfica are accelerating for the loan of Joao Felix. What is this thing saying? Oh, it's behind a fucking paywall. Go fuck yourselves. Fuck you and your shit paywall, bruv. Taking the piss. Has anyone got anything more on that? No. Alright, cool. So Benfica are just looking for a loan for him. Fine, whatever. It would ideally be a loan with an option, at the very least. Has the camera stopped working? Oh, 1 second, chat. 1 second, chat. Yeah, no worries. I've seen that. I'm going to pattern this one up again. It's taking the fucking piss. What is wrong with this shit today? You're fine for the last stream. I'm actually going to have to go and buy another one. I can't be arsed. Season ticket renewals in what? 3 days, and now I'm stuck with this shit. Are you working now? Shit bastard. Shit bastard. Yeah, Ben, save for that as well. I'm going to bring that back in a little sec. But yeah, man said Bastoni links. When the hell did we get linked to Bastoni? And I ain't taking that shit seriously. Football Italia. No, apparently that Football Italia didn't even drop a link, and it's just a rumor going around. Yeah, whatever. I ain't believing it anyway. I ain't believing it at all. But yeah, Benfica accelerating for the loan of Joao Felix. Okay. We're clearly looking to get someone else to do the left wing /10 role anyway. Because like we've been looking at Joao Pedro for that. I think Ekitike might be an option for that as well. I've seen people speak about it. But okay, yeah, peace. Peace and all of that. Maybe that one will be the permanent, but fucking returning back to your old club at 25. Fucking hell. Where did it all go wrong for Jalde, mate? Where did it all go wrong for Jalde? But on to the next one. Ekitike. This guy is apparently meant to be some Frankfurt in the know. Because I looked at the app and it just seemed like weird, like 2.6k followers, and this is what we're going off. But he's meant to be some in the know. We have apparently reached a verbal agreement on personal terms. First offer's been made, but I think Pi's already dropped another update on this to say that they still want the 84 million. And this shit is only going to drag until further down the window, because number one, Frankfurt know that we want this done before the Club World Cup, so they know that they have a bit of leverage in terms of that. And also, they're hoping for a bidding war. Liverpool's interested. I'm sure there's a couple of other clubs whose names I've forgotten about or not heard of that are interested in him as well. Like, I rate the player. He's a good talent. He's a good dribbler. He's got good IQ. Seems to make the right decisions on the ball. The finishing still don't really move me too tough. It still don't really move me that well. But there's still enough in terms of his all-round game that I kind of get the vision with him. And again, there is still a ceiling for him to go up to. But 84 million to me is still just a no. It's still just a no for me. Because I don't think he's 84 million level. I do rate the player at least. Like, does seem to be Jackson light, but again, with a bit better decision making. And still, I think because of his height, he could grow into be like an actual... He has potential to be better physically, I think. Because I think he's like 6'3" or something. Let me just double check that. Yeah, he's 6'3", 6'3". A little bit more frail at this point, but he could still end up growing into his body and becoming a bit more physical. And obviously still very, very techie. Very techie. Who's called him Haviteke? That is insane, bruv. That is insane. But yeah, this is something that is only going to keep dragging. Like, I really think we're just going to keep hearing more and more about this over the next coming days and weeks. And I don't think you're going to get many more updates because I just don't see it going any further. They're hoping for a bidding war. They're hoping for a bidding war, which means like they're not going to lower their price tag and they're going to see how long they can take this. And I don't think Ekitike is going to force it either. So I guess we'll see. We'll see, but it's another potential. It's another potential. Still want to see a bit more from him from a finishing perspective, but obviously he's a good all-round player, good dribbler, good IQ, decent passing, and yeah, all of that. Joey, what am I missing, bro? Let me know. Let me know, my friends. Big up, bro. Big up to Pacharo saying, how could WWE release R-Truth like that? I don't even have too much of a problem with... Well, obviously, I'm going to miss R-Truth. Don't get it twisted. But you could have done it a lot better. Have Cena retire him. Have fucking Cena retire him. You want Cena to get proper heel heat. Do the whole I'm ruining wrestling gimmick and fucking get R-Truth kicked out. That would be a brilliant end. That would be a lot better. Like, maybe R-Truth wanted to leave. Who knows? Maybe they just couldn't come to an agreement. It is what it is. And also, anyone talking about this era of WWE being worse than under Vince, fuck off. Fuck off. This is still levels clear of like a lot of shit I've seen in the Vince era. Piss off. And I'm just overdoing it. But yeah, it is a shame, man. It is a shame. I do hope he ends up staying. They want multiple pieces from Strasbourg. Yeah, I think you mentioned Bakwa earlier. Let us know who else. If that could lower the price tag, I could be a lot more keen on the move. I could be a lot more keen on the move if that's the case. Check Adler News. Okay, I will do. I'll see if there's anything more in there. No, that's the same stuff that we brought up earlier. Ekitike was the best under-23 striker in the top 5 leagues this season. Chelsea putting pressure on the transfer for him. Meeting between consultant and Liverpool has not taken place. Chelsea currently in pole position compared to Liverpool. We want to fix the deal quickly, which is why they probably won't lower that price tag. And that seems to be all the updates. That seems to be all the updates. Nanasi, yeah, I don't know too much about that guy. Big up Sean saying Gittens and Eki. Let the top 4 battle commence. Poor. Well, hopefully this will be another stroke of genius player-wise from the sporting directors. You'd hope so. But again, I gotta let him cook. Couture, yes. Ekitike does a lot of defensive work. Ekitike does his job defensively. He'll drop deep, get involved in build-up play well. He'll press the front line. Like, he will defend. He ain't lazy off the ball. He is not lazy off the ball. Big up Mad Hangry saying, does 80 million price tag come with a free car for fans? Yo, I wish. I fucking wish. Don't a lot of us fucking wish. Big up Mad Hangry, though. Man's got the coke eyes. It's all mad. Man spent a couple of hours in the Chelsea coke room. It's all mad. Yeah, like, bro, I was doing a bit more research into him last night and all of that. That's where I got more of the defensive stuff out of him. But yeah, he does his job defensively. I get he's a good talent. I don't think he's 84 million worthy. I don't think he's 84 million worthy, but we'll see if we can lower it or try and get some Strasbourg players in to like sweeten the deal up a bit. Yeah, it's what we call the toilet. Why are you going for a shit in the coke room? All of that. But yeah, that's all on the Ekitike links. That's all that we got on the Ekitike links. So I think we'll end up going on to a few more of the other topics. So we have a sales list, although it's a sales list that really isn't surprising to anybody. Like Sanchez, I don't know why Petrovic is there. Listen to offers probably means he's got a price tag on his head, but I don't know why we would sell him. Even Vega, I don't really think we're pushing to try and sell like that. Chilwell, I get. Disasi, I get. Fofana, I think, has a price tag that I don't think anybody's going to go for. Dewsbury Hall, I get. Chukwuemeka, I get. Leslie, I kind of get, but I still would rather we keep him for another year. And Sterling, piss off. Sterling can piss off. No, Couture, I get why KDH is there. We got Leslie, Andre Santos, and Asugo all coming back. There's just no room for him. No room for him at all. Big up for the end of the campaign and for the UCL run. We won't ever forget it, but peace. Yeah, Maldini. I saw the goalkeeper list. That one was from Matt Law. Let me bring that one up and then I'll come back to the Madueke stuff. So if it's true, I do like who we are linked with. Where is it? So this was from Matt Law. So James Trafford from Burnley, which is a bit more Lucas Chevalier, I've just heard so many good things about him this season. Mike Mignon, You guys already know, great goalkeeper, bit too injury prone for my liking, but he is a great goalkeeper. Marcin Bulka, we've been linked with for a while, rate it. Emi Martinez, iffy, but I do rate it. And Diogo Costa, just like everyone's flavor of the month name from 2022 and all of that. That's a promising list. That is a promising list. That like gives me a lot of like hope and all of that. One of them and Petrovic. One of Chevalier or Mignon and Petrovic. That'll do me. That'll do me. Like that's something where I'd be like, you know what? Cool. I'm with it. I'll speak with a little bit of chest. I'll back that. I will back that. But we'll see. We'll see how serious this one is. I'm just going to save this, slap in the bookmarks just to be sure. Just to be sure. So this is from The Guardian as well. This is from Jacob Steinberg. He said, Chelsea are understood to be open to offers for Noni Madueke. There is a feeling that his development has stalled. I did see as well, who said it? Felix Johnson. He said, I'm told Newcastle are very interested in Noni Madueke, which says to me that those links aren't dying. Those links are not dying. Ed, apparently we didn't like Hermansen because he's not great in the air. Apparently it's because he's not great in the air. So we could potentially be looking to sell off Noni Madueke. Now, I do think it's more for the right offer we'd sell. Like, if we get, like, I don't know, 50, 55 or something, I could see us potentially try to sell him. Like, I do think he's made some good developments this season, but he still struggles for consistency. And he also ended the season with, like, 2 putrid performances against Nottingham Forest, and that cup final. Like, that Conference League final. Fucking hell, that was bad. I could smell you from Poland, mate. That was awful. Awful. So, like, I think for the right offer, we would sell. For the right offer, we would do. I'm very indifferent. Very indifferent. Similar to Sancho. If you keep him, cool. If you sell him, cool. I'm not fussed. I'm not fussed. Just figure it out. And if you do sell him, go get an upgrade. Whoever you get needs to be an upgrade. I can embuemo. Imagine. Imagine. That would be a sick move. That would be a sick move. But yeah, Noni, you showed me a bit of promise on the left-hand side. But again, we're struggling for consistency on there. Right-hand side, you're all right. Again, struggle for consistency there. Even though I probably do say he's probably been our most consistent winger, which again, says a fucking lot. But this is our forward line, innit? This is our forward line. We'll see. If Newcastle's serious, they'll slap a bit on the table. If they're serious. But yeah, who knows? Big up to... That sounds like you're trying to catch me out there. Big up Kumaru. I'm not going to say the first name because I think you're trying to catch me out there. He's saying, Delap is going to develop into the new Harry Kane. What a signing up the Chelsea. I hope so. If we can even get half of what Harry Kane was like, then fair fucking play. In your first season, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Go AM. Really? Really? How do you come up with this shit? How do you come up with this bullshit, bruv? You disgust me, mate. You know that. And I know you're laughing behind your fucking screen, bruv. But that is a nasty slander name. That is a nasty slander. Yo, we can't let the rivals see that. We cannot let the rivals see that. Mental. But yeah, big up Kamaru, man. Up the Chelsea. Let's hope the Delap even becomes half the player of Harry Kane. Yeah, go AM. You're wildin', man. That is nuts. That is nuts. Big up Ilya saying Newcastle give me 50 million and will give you the masters to his rap career for free also. Wow. Ilya is not keen on Noni. Again, I don't blame you. Like, any of these wingers have moved the needle this season. None of them have. Oh, wow, he super chatted it. I didn't even clock it was a super chat. Ha! Contracting the clap is never a good thing. There's the slander name. Great. And they may add Jamie Gitmo and Argentine MGK. Ha ha ha! Oh, for fuck's sakes. What's wrong with you? I thought I was good with slander names. Nah. You are the OG with slander names. I remember it from the Tappy days, bruv. Nothing beat Go AM Tammy slander, man. That shit was like the sun coming up on a summer's day. That shit was fucking mental, man. Absolutely fucking mental. Big up Go AM, though. What a horrible slander name. I can't believe... Hey, Delap, you had better not stink out the bridge. You had better not stink out the pitch. Otherwise, you're finished. You're finished. Yeah, bro, the Sterling slander and all of that. What's he... No, he called Oba Zorro or something like that. Oh, brother. Yeah, don't let Argentine MGK fall under the radar too. That's nasty as well. That's nasty as well. Weren't we promised a statement signing this summer? It's probably Ekitike. Probably Ekitike. For 84 million, it is most likely Ekitike. CFC Daily tweet. What CFC Daily said. So, Maresca pitched the project to Delap personally last week. Word is Delap was even told to envisage himself leading the line in Chelsea's system while watching the Conference League final, with one source saying he liked what he saw. AKA, he watched Nicholas Jackson's performance in the final and said, hey, you know what? I could start here. He defo watched that 2v1 where Jackson's dead touch sent it straight to the keeper when he slipped and said, you know what? Yeah, cool. I'm signing. I'm going to be number one here. I will defo be number one here. Fuck it. That's nasty, though. Man said, imagine yourself leading the line. He literally said, yo, watch Nicholas Jackson all year and tell me you can't do better than this in a Champions League team. And and you know what? That would have been an insane pitch to him. And it did the job. So, yeah, well done, Jackson. Oh, well. Speaking of Jackson, I think I saw a quote on him as well. Something about him potentially leaving. Actually, Max has got a couple of the Matt Law ones. Chelsea have a belief that Pedro Neto's numbers will get better with a full healthy season behind him. Expected to stick with him. They also felt Neto gave everything every game. Boys gave everything. And played in many positions. They've been impressed with the way he's improved his fitness. Yeah, to be fair, for someone who's meant to be hella injury prone, he did have a lot of availability for us this season. And I do think you give him someone to cross to, he'll be a lot better. You give him someone who will make those runs and like anticipate the sort of crosses that Neto will deliver, that'll be a lot better for him too. I kind of hear it. But yeah, Marseille interested in Vega. We'll see if they drop a link. Big up for that one, though. Appreciate it. What else did we get from the Matt Law stuff? What else did we get? Chelsea like Ekitike, and a lot of people in football are hopeful, and are thinking he may have a similar development path as Isak. Crazy thought process, Isak. Well, okay. Kind of see it. Kind of. Sesko seems to be steering towards Arsenal. Please keep steering. Please keep steering. Actually, to be fair, he'd be a great aerial threat for us. Let me not even front. It's just the finishing. Joey, I might be a bit busy later tonight. I might be a bit busy. I'm meant to be stepping out. If not, though, shout me and I'll pull up. I'll probably still keep a listening anyway. But yeah, for you guys, Joey's going live again, man. Everybody go check out Joey's channel and subscribe to it. Very, very good football analysis. Chelsea didn't think Gyökeres was ready a year ago. Maybe changed now. But high wages and his age factors. Okay, it's the ages. Too old and all that, really? High wages. He must be demanding high wages then, because he's on like 40k a week. Which, I mean, with the whole of Europe looking at him, I will say I did kind of get, but it seems like everybody's more avoiding him now. Arsenal seem to be leaning more towards Sesko. I don't know who's looking at him. He wants 200k plus. Oh dear. You might have to start lowering that valuation then. Fuck that. Bro, it's again, you look at his last 40, 60 shots and it's like, there's some bangers in there. There's also some really poor placement and some shots that he takes way too quickly. Now, again, young, there is still levels for him to grow. I do have to keep throwing that disclaimer out there that there is still ceilings for these players. But yeah, another one that don't really move me, bar aerially. And like, yeah, you could get better, but 60, 70, all of that. Yeah, Maldini, that's basically the name you can throw for like 8/10 out of the players that we're linked with. Raw. Still got areas to go to and all of that. But that's why at the very least, I'll look at a lot of these signings and I won't be out from minute one because there's still levels for them to grow to. It's just I'll look at what they're doing now and I just won't be moved. It's the same as last summer. Last summer, with nearly every signing and with every link, I was saying, not really with it, but go change my mind. I'll let it cook. I said that for nearly every signing that we made. And it just feels like I'm going to be saying the same thing again for this summer, which is fine if you cook good food. But I need to see what you cook. Like, it's just a lot different to the signings that a lot of us are used to from back in the Roman era. Back in the Roman era, you'd know what you're getting usually with a lot of the signings. We don't really get that right now, which is a good thing in some cases, a bad thing in some cases. We're talking about him back again. Like, you look at the striker signings that we made in the Roman era. Fucking disgusting, most of them. And even then, some of them we expected to be good. So it's like, who knows? Who knows? Jackson leaving is certainly possible. That's another thing. Let me see what the link was I had on Nicholas Jackson, because I didn't save it. Oh, yeah, it was just Jacob Steinberg's one again. He just said his future will be up in the air if 2 strikers arrive. We have heard that he's, like, feeling out other options. There's the rumor of him being unhappy, which I really don't get because, like, it feels like the club has rolled out the red carpet for him. But again, if that's the case, I'm not saying that that's the case just yet. But yeah, if we get a second striker, you might see him push for a move a bit more. But even then, I think for me, it would say a lot more about his character if that's the case. Because, like, look how many strikers we brought in when Drogba was here. And it just motivated him to show that he could be better than all of them. I want to see that from you. I want to see these striker signings motivate you. And if it does the opposite, then shit, yeah, you might not have the right mentality for me, man. You might not have the right mentality for me. Because there's no way you don't look at the season that you've had and not even just understand why we're looking at another striker. It's up to you to change that. Ben Jacobs has reported that the Nicholas Jackson, the Liam Delap transfer has now been completed. So we might have an announcement by the club at 6 p.m. 6 or 7 p.m. potentially. 6 or 7 p.m. might be the Liam Delap announcement. So who knows? We might get that drop in again when we're live. We will see. It's not about mentality. They are saying you are being replaced. I don't really know if they are though. Because we don't really have anything to go off with that one. Right now, we've heard like rumors that Jackson's also unhappy and he's been feeling out options himself. So, like, if that's the case, then that does say a bit of his mentality. Now, you could also be correct too. You could also be correct. We're playing a guessing game. But that's the thing. It could be either or. It could be either or. The more sources we hear, the more the situation develops, the more we know what it is. The more we know what it is. Nah, Cenac, though, we've had 3 strikers before. We've had 3 strikers before, innit? And, like, especially with the amount of football that we stand to play within the next year, the next 12 months, I don't really blame him. Don't really blame him. Because we got a lot of football to play. And ain't AFCON this December? Ain't AFCON this December? Am I bugging, chat? I swear AFCON is in December. Because if it is, then like all the more reason to have that. Yeah, all the more reason to have that third striker. All the more reason. So like, we'll see. We'll see. See, like again, depends on the right offer, innit? Like I do think if we get a good amount, Jackson will go. Or we will be willing to sell him, but hey. Frosted Myth, big up, says Chocolate Timo Werner needs to go ASAP. Bumba. Oh, brother. Nicholas Jackson, man. How did we get to this point? Bro, I remember in November, December, we were putting you in Isak and Haaland debates. How have we got here, man? How have we got here? Do you know how much it disgusts me? It actually pisses me off. We were in such a good place in November. And look at this. Now Troops is gassed enough to start bringing Havertz back into the conversation. Now we're doing Werner. It's just disappointing, man. It's just as Havertz was not better than him. Havertz was not. I don't care, bro. Fuck that. But yeah, Jackson, man, look at what you've done to yourself. Look what you've done to your rep. Are you not embarrassed? Are you not ashamed? And then I want to hear stuff about fucking I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. What a fucking prop that I did start the season with doing this. Fucking pissing me off, bruv. All this shit, we just gone a whole 180. We make 5 steps forward and then just moonwalk right back to where we were at the start this time last year. It's jarring. Nico Kai Havertz Jackson, bye-bye. You see what you've done, Jackson? You see what you've fucking done? I'm taking a piss, bro. Nico Kai Havertz Jackson. I can't even try and talk down the finishing because see you, yeah? Taking the piss. We got 1K in here though. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. We only got 200. We can get 400. We can get 400 ASAP, chat. Run that up. Big up to Irish Yellow. Big up to Irish Yellow, my guy, saying, I don't trust this ownership. Watch as they walk away from big deals until they end up buying a cheap 21-year-old youngster. See, I don't think they always go for the cheap, though. I remember we did spend about like 50, 55 million on Pedro Neto. There was the whole Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo, Mudryk stuff. Like, I do think we will buy big. If there's anything we're stricter on, it's the wage structure. We are very, very strict on the wage structure. When it comes to transfer fee, I think we're a lot more like willing to open our wallet for that one. A lot more willing to. But big up Irish Yellow though, man. I don't blame you for not trusting the ownership. I don't blame you. Man are spamming Pies tweet. Guys, I think Pies has just said like the same thing that's on here already. Oh yeah, that and the chasing the signature of Gittens before the Club World Cup. Yeah, we kind of already knew that as well. Big up for bringing it up anyway. I appreciate it, but yeah, chasing the signature of Gittens before the Club World Cup. Cool. Cool. Again, if this is the hill that you're gonna die on, fine. I hope you're cooking. I hope you're cooking. HR. It would have been fine if actually no, you said 2 years ago, actually. Fair enough. Fair enough. Before you were talking about last year. Bro, Wesley, you have spent a month pretending to be a Chelsea fan. We all know you're a gooner. Come on, man. Ed Aarons also said Chelsea are thought to be considering an attempt to bring Mark Guehi back to Stamford Bridge. It's just another link to him that we've had for the last couple months. We'll see if we try and throw a player into that deal. And yeah, we'll see if that develops. See if that develops any further, because I haven't seen that go any further. And it seems we want to bring players in before the Club World Cup. That's our centre-back pick. I'm surprised we haven't made a move sooner, but hey, here we are. What else? There was one other topic that I wanted to get through. Just trying to find the quote on it. Where is it? Where is it? What the hell is this tweet, bro? Cool. Here we go. So yeah, last topic, Jadon Sancho. Chelsea remain in contact with Jadon Sancho's camp over contract terms. No agreement on salary so far. Final decision will be made in a few days and the outcome is expected next week. And if contract terms is not agreed, Sancho will go back to Manchester United with £5 million compensation. I was surprised that this wasn't already agreed before the loan, but I'm going to guess the situation's changed as the season's gone by. Maybe because of his form in 2025, they're now doing what they did with Mount and like they're taking back the previous offer and they're giving him something that's a bit more like relatable to what they've seen this season, which hasn't been great. It's been a bit inconsistent. He had a great start to the season, really stunk it out between like January and April, then showed some good moments off the bench, and then he's just like ended it here. Like, we're obviously with a good end to the season with the final and all of that. Now, like, I do think there's aspects to his game that he does bring pretty well. He's got good ball retention. I still think he's a good passer and all of that. But, like, overall, the season hasn't been good enough for me to outright say keep him. It's not been good enough for it. It's one of those where if you get rid of him, fairs. If you keep him, fairs. Just whatever. It's genuinely just a whatever. Like, we'll see in it. Like, I do think he's be a lot better in terms of like UCL games where he's got a lot more space to deal with. And Josh, I'm with you. Ultimately, like, I think he's a good squad player, but that's probably why we're now having a bit of a disagreement in terms of wages, because we probably viewed Sancho as a starter start of the campaign. That's why he was playing every game, week in and week out, And now he's at a point where I don't really see him as like a guaranteed starter. I just see him as a good squad player to have within the team. If you keep him, cool. If you don't, cool. We'll see. We'll see. But we'll have a decision by the end of this week. Sancho, to be fair, like, he's also probably a bit desperate because, like, you go back to Man United, you're already going there with, like, the majority of the fan base hating you. Maybe Amorim would give you a new chance. It is under a new manager and all of that. Might do well in one of the inside 10 roles, but overall, like, I think he probably would rather stay in London than stay at Chelsea. So if that's the case, you got to agree to our terms, man. You got to agree to our terms. We will see what happens, man. Yeah, he can't go back there after the freedom comment. There's no way you could go back there. Would they even take him back? Would they even take him back? Big up Ilya, my G. Big up, bro. He says Sancho 25 million for a rotation player is good. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I actually don't mind him. And Scott, I'm with you. I think he would do well in the UCL. I think it's more direct. It gives him more space. It allows for more runners. And ultimately, you're going to get the best out of Sancho with that. In the Prem, I think he'd just be good depth, if anything. Or depending on the team that you're playing against. But also, the season that he had has not been good enough for me to just outright say keep. I can't just outright say that. Oh, we have a Pies tweet. We have another Pies tweet. The Premier League is planning to make a new proposal to clubs this week to close the loophole that has allowed Chelsea to register a profit from selling hotels and their women's team to a sister company. Why would you bastards agree to that, though? When, like, it's a loophole that you all can use for your clubs too. Unless your club is broke and they ain't got other things they can sell. Well, you know what? Yeah, maybe like we've already sold everything. And if that's the case, fuck them, man. Lock it up. Lock it up. Who knows? Ultimately, probably not that deep. Probably not that deep. But yeah, big up every single one of you that's locked in. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that crap. Let's get this panel in. Let's get this panel in and see what everybody's saying. Like, subscribe, all of that crap. Up the Chelsea. Up the Chelsea. And yeah, smash the lights, guys. Smash the light. Oh, man said play. Yeah, you know what? There's no football. Fuck it. We'll play some music.
That's not Jabbo.
There's no football.
That's not Jabbo.
I'm not jinxing nothing.
That's not Lule. That's not Jabbo. That's not Jabbo. That's not Lule. Jabbo, 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 Lule, 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 Jabbo, 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 Lule, Lule, Lule. That's not Jabbo. Won't it Jabbo? That's not Jabbo. Won't it Jabbo? That's not Lule. Won't I play money? That's not Jabbo. That's not Jabbo. That's not Lule. One man play money, so that's not Jabbo. Want it Jabbo? That's not Jabbo. One man Jabbo, no, that's not Lule. Want it okay? That's not Jabbo. That's not Jabbo.
Nearly done, guys.
Jabbo. That's not Jabbo. That's not Lule. That's not Jabbo. That's not Jabbo. That's not Lule. Jabbo, 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 Lule, 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 Jabbo, 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 Lule, Lule, Lule. That's not Jabbo. Won't it Jabbo? That's not Jabbo. Won't it Jabbo? That's not Lule. One man play money.
Yeah, that's all good. Yes, Fata, what are you telling me, man? I was
Yeah,
Poland,
good.
mate.
Yeah, oh, good. No, I had a great time. I've been here for nearly a week, though.
No, your mics are breaking up a bit.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, much better, much better.
Yeah, I've been there for a week, man. But yeah, I'm good. I missed a lot of stuff. So.
Oh, that'd be real. Bar like the Delap, here we go. You didn't really miss too much. There's not been a lot of changes. It's just like we seem to be pressing with Gittens a lot more. And it seems like he's going to be like the main pick that we make for left wing.
Yeah,
Still feel very iffy with that one. But
yeah.
I feel like I've been saying, I think with a lot of these transfers, sadly, you can't really judge them too much until they've literally played like a handful of games for the club. And then you got a better understanding of what they're bringing to the team. Because they all still have levels to go in terms of like their final form and like their ceiling and everything. We're buying a lot of these players based on the ceiling that we expect them to hit.
What
and
kind
a lot
of
of that
ceiling?
won't be immediate.
What kind of ceiling are we talking about?
Well, Gittens, I think the idea is for him to be our direct left winger to give us some goal threat from there. And like I do see it because strong, fast, direct dribbler, just the end product isn't great. The shot selection isn't great. The IQ isn't great. And like a lot of Dortmund fans have spoken about like his ego and his attitude. And that sort of stuff I'm more taking a pinch of salt on because he's leaving in a bad way. So they're always going to cuss that out. Always.
If you want to go for direct winger, you might as well get Rodrigo in. Because I know Chelsea and Arsenal and other clubs also fighting for Rodrigo's.
I don't think Rodrigo leaves until
Club World Cup.
Yeah, after Club World Cup. That ain't gonna happen yet. Ekitike is another one that's only gonna drag because they know there's a bidding war dropping. They know Liverpool's interested.
We can buy players then. We can buy players from the club before the Club World Cup and after the Club World Cup.
There's a 6-day break, but if we buy anyone after the first like window closes, you can't register them for the Club World Cup after.
Oh,
so like this window is solely for us to bring players in before we get the registry period.
Oh, the registry period. I don't know, man. I feel like you might as well stick with Tyreek George in there.
I mean, look, Tyreek George has shown me a lot both on the wings and in the middle, but even that one, like, he's still got levels to go as well. It's just that's the option you'd rather go for, solely because, like, it's the devil you know, and you're not spending any money that you could at least maybe use just bringing another striker instead, or a better quality striker.
I see it.
So yeah, as a team, I hear it, but like George playing in the UCL, Gittens playing in the UCL, Garnacho playing in the UCL. I have my reservations about all three. I have my reservations about any one of those three. Rodrigo is like the only name on that list you could look at and just say like, oh wow, I kind of hear it. Yes, Joey, big up my guy.
Yo. So Rodrigo ideally would not go to Chelsea until the Club World Cup ends, or maybe other clubs as well. So that's why.
Yeah.
Well, like even fully spoke with Javi Alonso.
This is a very good point. This is a very good point. Like they're not gonna actually like with the type of depth that you need for the Club World Cup going into the next season. You're not gonna sell a player for Rodrigo's quality before the Club World Cup.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. That's actually a very good point. Because I've been saying the same thing for us with our players. That's why I get us getting 3 strikers in.
Yeah, like
so
even with Ekitike, I wouldn't think that we would sell Nico until after the Club World Cup.
Yeah. There was already a source. I think it was Pies' burner account or someone else who said there's no chance of us selling. No, that Pat Altman account. That was it. He's the one that said there's no chance of Jackson being sold at least until after the Club World Cup is over. Because it gives you a chance to compare him if the lap comes back in time.
So
the signing of Gittens, possibly Gittens in the lap, but probably only during the Club World Cup period then.
Basically.
So the interesting thing with Gittens is this, okay? Like once again, I have I watch a lot of Bundesliga. My entire friend group that is out here are all Dortmund fans. Like my entire friend group's all Dortmund fans. And
Okay.
literally, like the way that they speak about the way they spoke about Gittens early in the season, they were talking about him like he was like the next coming of fucking Sancho for them. Like,
yeah, because we were linked with in January, and I was getting those same sorts of things.
The thing happened. This is what ended up happening. Okay, so Nuri Sahin was playing a possession-based style of football, very similar to the way that we play, where the wingers are getting a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and they have the ability to take people on and shoot. Okay, a lot of that was going on. Okay,
yeah.
So what ended up happening is he was the only winger he was the only attacking player out of the crew, out of all of the entire team that was actually thriving in that system. Like nobody else was playing well. Nobody. And if you look at his goal tally, right, he had 10 goals from start of the season to January, and then he didn't play from January. He barely played from January on into March. So it's like, to be honest, like if we were to go get Gittens, in my opinion, that's like Maresca saying, I want him. Like that's, in my opinion, the way that I see it. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's been reported by Patty that that's the case. Like,
yeah, he said the same thing.
That it's not necessarily like we did all this scouting and all of that. Delap and Gittens are just Maresca guys. Like that's us backing our manager. That's what it is. Like in the end, like I think our manager deserves a little bit of at least a couple players that he wants, that he can see in the system. I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of all this, like overall. Like I still think he is extremely raw, but he at least has ball striking with both feet, which we can't say with any of our wingers at this current moment. Like that's the one thing that I can't say with any of our players.
Yeah,
right? Like,
I agree with you.
And that I wouldn't have right now. Here's the thing: is like I get the whole frustration of raw players. Like this is like my frustration as well with a lot of these players that we keep on going for. Right? Is like that we keep on going for more raw and potential rather than like actual set in stone like product being shown to us. Like the way that Liverpool and Edwards move, they won't move to a player unless he has at least 2 years. They have at least 2 years of solid experience in a top league. That way you can see you could at least get a good sample size of what you're looking at.
Like little hints of the player they can become.
Exactly. Okay. And what my problem is we're looking at these players with such a small sample size to the points where we're like, how do we know that this guy's going to actually do anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, realistically, getting sample size is 6 months. Like, that's realistically what we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my problem with this. It's like, you're not even getting a player that has given me, like, over a year of, like, solid performances. You know what I'm saying? That's my biggest issue with this. Is like I need to see a longer period of time of performances before I'm saying, oh, this is a great signing. Like a lot of people are saying. Like even Delap is like still a small sample size. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going for players that have small sample sizes of success, and it's not conducive of necessarily hitting more times than not when you're doing that type of sample size. Like that's my biggest problem with all this. Like I don't know. The thing is Gittens in Champions League, when he was playing in Champions League, he actually looked really good in certain moments. Like really good. Like the game against Madrid. Like he had and my buddy, he told me he's like, bro, he could score 5 games straight and then just go blank for
inconsistent. He's that type of player that goes that went good, but also like inconsistent. Then he's not that.
Yeah, of course, but you're going to get inconsistent.
It's hit and miss. It's hit and miss.
But Fator, how consistent were you at waking up every morning to go to school at 20 years old? You're
waking up.
You're at 20 years old. You're going to be an inconsistent. You're not going to have consistency in your life. Period. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, these are kids we're talking about. They're children. At 20 years old, I was every morning just trying to fucking party to try to do something else. Like at 20 years old, who's consistent at 20? Only anomalies are consistent at 20. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point. Is like in the end, is like you're never gonna get consistency from guys who have only 1 year of work experience, of high level work experience. You know what I'm saying? Like rather than getting someone who has 2 or 3, you could see what type of profile they are and who they actually are. Like this is that's my point in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Would you rather stick with Sancho and Tyreek George during the Club World Cup? Or
no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. To me, it's Tyreek George isn't ready to be ready to play at this level.
I said during the Club World Cup only. I never said from the start of next season.
No, but even in that level, I kind of hear it.
Like he should be getting a loan. Like we shouldn't be putting George on this pedestal of trying to like pull him up into the ranks naturally. He's not ready for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not really with that one either. To be honest,
that's the thing. Is like to me, I'm just tired of like looking at like at least with Hugo Ekitike, he has two plus years of like top flight experience that I could look at and compare.
Someone trying to contradict fucking flag.
Like that's what I'm saying. It's like we just. In the end, if we end up with what's it called? I mean, all of those names that GemX just put up on the screen are not necessarily better than Gittens. Like they all have their flaws, like every single one of them. The only one I really like is Noah Lang, but he plays in fucking Netherlands. Like it's not like a good team.
Like that whole league is.
And Igor Picasso is like been absolutely phenomenal this year, and I still wouldn't go for him. Like as a Zuli, bro, he scored on us for a second. He scored on us, but he's been an injury risk his entire career. Like I can go. Antonio Nusa has an actual like problem with his body that he barely could pass a physical for.
Fucking hell, I didn't know that,
bro. Like this is what I'm saying. Like you guys can keep bringing names. I could bring you the downsides to all of them. Lewis, I beg of you. I did this yesterday on Casually Stream. I beg you, pull up Transfer Market and pull up the best left wingers on Transfer Market, and then someone just tell me a name that actually can, like, outside of Leao, right? Like, and even Leao, there's still like real drawbacks with Leao, like real serious drawbacks with Leao that you have to potentially like cover up based off of what he's about, like.
Before I do, big up Gilno saying Jackson disrespect recently has been bizarre. Chelsea fans cannot understand the concept of having Downs as a young player. Potential is there. That's why I don't want to get rid of him yet. I still think like he's still got like a few years to go before he gets to like the level that we expect of Jackson. But that's why you just have to get another striker with him to accommodate for that. Now, if Jackson wants to leave in spite of that, then that's his own decision. But I wouldn't get rid of him yet. I've been very annoyed with him this year, but I wouldn't get rid of him,
guys. By the way, Lookman's turning 30, and he's failed in
big up, though, Jonah.
Like you're literally like, and I love Ademola Lookman, but like there's still drawbacks, bro. Like there's not a single winger on this list that you can just be like, oh yeah, we could go for him.
Well, that's a realistic option, yeah.
Like literally, go.
Because like Vinny, Vara, Rafinha, that ain't happening. You just forget the top three.
We tried, right? Leao, we know the drawbacks. Barcola isn't leaving. Luis Diaz, we're gonna buy from Liverpool. Yeah, I'm sure about that.
Yeah,
especially with the
Gakpo, same energy.
And Cody Gakpo ain't leaving, especially if Luis Diaz is leaving. Anthony Gordon want 80 million and shit. A lot of us still don't see the player that is the 70 million pound player that Newcastle bought.
Yep.
Gabriel Martinelli.
That was the season before last season.
Don't make me laugh. Okay. Gabriel Martinelli, don't make me laugh. And then look who's on the list.
You got
Jamie Gittens.
Gittens. Jeremy
Alex
Doku.
is not a left winger. Jeremy Doku. Look at the names we're going to now. Jeremy Doku.
Marcus Rashford. Good luck
We
with
own
them wages.
Quenda. We own him.
Oh yeah, should just pull up at
We
this
own
point.
Quenda.
Oh, look at that.
Yildiz we've been linked with.
Yildiz we've been linked with.
I end up
What
thinking
are these
Juve will
lists,
offer too much anyway.
Is this the left winger? All of them.
These are all
Yeah,
the
these are all the
wingers
left
in
wing
football,
options
bro.
out there.
I'm not
Who's
saying
number one?
names. These are the names on the list. You fucking bum. You don't even know what you're talking about.
Who's number one?
Literally. There's
Number
nothing
one,
here.
Vinny,
There's nothing
Varachelli,
here, bro. There's
Coutinho, but
nothing
we ain't
here.
getting it.
There's nothing here. This is my point. There's nothing here.
You might as well get some menu then. I
Looks a bit
prefer
iffy.
Semenyo than
Ew. Semenyo.
Yeah,
Ew.
no.
Wait.
Man, this
Ew.
What, you wouldn't take
man,
Semenyo?
what kidding about the fucking left winger options.
Yeah,
this year.
bro.
Yeah.
This is my point.
Would take Semenyo.
I'm still
Okay.
ew. Semenyo, ew. I don't care what you say. He's better than he is better than Gittens, but still, ew.
Yeah, I would take Semenyo than Gittens. Yeah.
Yeah, he is, but ew, still, ew. Gross.
Yeah, I would take Semenyo.
Fucking hell, bro.
I would.
yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy
I
has said
wouldn't-
Semenyo. Again, it's just not really a mover like that. Still. Big up Daniel, man. Yeah. Big up Jeremy as well, though. Big up.
Sorry, Wesley.
Jeremy.
Sorry, but Wesley, you're probably not. You probably shouldn't be letting your children watch this channel. There's enough swearing happening on this channel that's more than me. Sorry about that, though.
Now, Wesley's still pretending to be a Chelsea fan. We all know you're a gooner, mate.
Jeremy.
Nobody.
Let me talk. Yeah.
Who's the top 10 again? Can I see the list top 10, please? Let's see. Oh, Doku's number 11.
There you go.
Rafael Leo.
Yildiz ranked 16 on this list is ew. Do you think it was
Yildiz
that
is
low?
not good this year.
Oh, it's
What
based on
list
the transfer value. Okay.
Can you let me? What list is this?
Like if okay, so
Yeah, that was it. Yildiz weren't
question.
consistent.
That's a
That's
question.
what a lot of them fans were saying too.
Yildiz was not good this year, by the way.
Ask you a question real quick, just so I understand, because I kind of came in midway
Me too.
through.
That's what I want to know what's going on.
Sure.
Are we saying like out of the options that are out there right now, attainable options? Let's just leave it at that. Gittens is the best option we can get.
No, I'm saying that Maresca's like pick. Like
Maresca.
that's like Maresca's pick for a winger.
are you sure that's Maresca's pick or are you sure
Maresca said he wants Gittens.
That's my. I'm actually like I actually have like ITKs like supporting this. This is just my thought though. Okay, this is literally my thought behind it because here's the thing: it's like you have like a pool of players that are all like meh, right? Like they're all meh. So it's like to me, it would be on the manager to be like, okay, like this is the out of the meh group, this is the one I want, right? Like that's the way I would. That's the way I'm putting it per se.
So he wants Gittens.
That's what I think. Yeah, I think he wants Gittens. I think the manager wants Gittens.
ideally like who do you guys want on that list?
Out of this list in front of
I'll
me.
be honest, I mean, I can't confirm or not. I mean, if he wants Gittens or not.
I said Black Garnacho.
It's really hard to say right now. I think the club was the one to Gittens, even when like since January. So I don't know if that's a him thing that he wants Gittens.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you had said.
Yeah, say that again. I think your mic was just a bit low.
He said
No, I'm
that we've
saying
known
that
that we've won it from
Club
January.
has
So
been going for him for like since January, right? It's been 6 months. They've been trying to get the guy, so I can't put this on the Maresca that he wants it. That's one with that, but two.
I mean,
I
why
just
wouldn't you? Though?
the idea that we're going to the market like, well, I don't think anybody in this market is good. I mean, to be honest, if no one in the market is the level and the belief that we have in them, like we have scouts who scout players. They know what they have a threshold of where they think they can get to. if they're good enough for Chelsea. If no one meets that threshold, you don't have to force the market. That means you don't buy anybody. That's what that means. But I don't believe that personally. I think there are a lot of players in there, and where the club, I think, is not willing to kind of accept is some deals you have to lose out on the deal. You're not going to win every deal, especially in terms of wages. So you have to take a sacrifice somewhere, or don't do it. Because to me, doing it with a player you're not sure of, if you're sure of Gittens, I don't really care about this list. If you're sure of Gittens, 100%. Like, he's going to be a top player. We're going to pay $50 million for him. This is our winger, because we've done this 3 times now. 60 on Mudryk, 60 on Neto, and now it's Gittens' turn. You have to get it right at some point. My thing is, you make a sacrifice. Oh man, damn, we're about to lose out on wages. We don't want to give this guy 190. We want to give him 150. That's just the way the game goes. If you don't want to lose out, don't sign anybody.
In ideal world, like,
yeah, that's like
in ideal world right now. How old is
you are right now? You're going to lose out on certain deals. Like some players are going to get you. Like, oh damn, he kind of like, even looking in the league, there are enough left wingers that I like in the league.
Like who?
Look, Muto is a good player. I'm not touching Brighton, but he's a good player.
Like, would you guys want though? Ideally, it's like we
the negotiation tactics for a player like that is terrible.
This list, is any of these? Is this a wish list, or because none of these deals are realistic in my opinion? None of anyone on this list.
Do we want to go? Do we want to go flashy? Wait.
I gotta stop looking at the chat, bro. There's some real.
Calma, tranquilo. Do we want to go? Do we want to go this flashy names, or do you want to go by? I
want to go with what works.
But I don't care. Exactly. I don't care who you want. You can buy whoever you want. They just have to work. Like, we're at a point where it can't be, well, yo, we spent 60 on Neto. We don't know. We spent 60 on Mudryk. Oh, that's flop. Now it's another winger we're going to spend about 60 on. You have to be sure. I'm not against or for anybody. Just whoever you get better be. There is no, oh man, let's give him 2 more years. Yeah, I don't got you.
I'll let him cook, man. Better cook.
Exactly. I don't got you.
I'm not really heard
the age. He could be 19 if you want, 17. But if you bring him in this club, for 60 mil, that nigga better work. That's all I got.
Yeah, like bro said, the final boss said it as well. Mbeumo's right there. Why weren't we not linked to Mbeumo?
Bro, Mbeumo, son, I've said this for a while. Like, I
haven't heard it. So
why we're not linked with Mbeumo.
Why are we not linked with Mbeumo?
But we don't have. But the thing here is like we're talking about, like, they want a specific kind of player. Okay, like I get where you're coming from, Daniel, but like we just don't have, like, you would rather just go into the season with the type of winners we have now than not try to get somebody. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
The person is not quality. Like, this profile thing doesn't matter if the player is not good. It doesn't matter what your profile is or how you play if you're not good enough to play for Chelsea, right? So if Gittens is good enough, cool, get him. I'm not against it. I generally don't give a fuck.
But doing nothing.
Good enough.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Doing nothing got us exactly where we were last year. We don't have a striker period for the entire 4 months. Like that. Doing nothing doesn't.
What are we talking about? Doing
nothing. To me, you have to me, you still have to do something. Like, doing nothing is the worst thing that you can do.
Shit.
To me, it's not the worst.
Thing.
No.
I don't believe
I Brussels, camera on, bro.
To me, doing something just to do something.
It don't make no
dumb.
sense.
It's
exactly.
Dumb. It's dumb.
We're at the point
where
where
we're saying here, right?
Camera on, brother. Yeah, jump on.
If he's not good enough for next year,
no. What I'm saying is that if this manager wants this footballer, right? If this manager wants this footballer and he has earned at least the aspect of being able to be backed, then we should go get him a left winger. He wants a left winger. We should go get him one. Like, I just don't. I don't see how we can go and say it now. Like, now, just don't get anybody. We've had issues on the wing all season. Now just don't get anybody. Get someone, but make sure like you said, make sure it's right. There is no elite out there, bro.
Hold on, though. If it's Garnacho, would you be cool with that?
No.
Would you rather go to?
That's not the only winger
Here's
out
Here's my point, because like it seems like when we make
it doesn't have to be Gittens, bro. It doesn't have to be Gittens. That's my point.
Though. When we make a succinct, clear point is like mixed into this other muddy shit. My point is, I see if the player, like for example, Garnacho is a player I have clear views on. He's not good enough. If you tell me in this summer I'm either paying $65 million to get Garnacho or sign nobody, guess what I'm doing?
But
I'm signing nobody. Why would I sign a player who I know is not good enough?
Bro,
it's crazy to understand.
It's not crazy to understand. But you're telling me that you're just making this. You're making this overarching statement of it's Gittens or nobody, or Garnacho and nobody. There's a whole fucking list of players you could try to go for. Like, I don't get this.
Like on this list,
our wingers are a problem, bro. They're a problem. Like, I don't get why we're sitting here
because I feel like
turning our nose up at our issues. Like, that's the thing. We're sitting here turning our nose up at our issues.
The manager wants Gittens. That's what you just said, right? That's your belief that he wants Gittens.
Yeah, the manager wants Gittens. That's my belief.
Okay, cool. If Gittens is good enough, go get him. The manager can want whoever the fuck he wants. The scouts and the higher ups of the decision makers, they watch these players every single game. The manager isn't watching Gittens every game. He has his own team to fucking worry about. He's not scouting players.
No director.
So if he's good enough, cool, get him. Why we act like I'm saying don't get Gittens? Go get Gittens. But if I come here next year and Gittens has 2 goals and 2 assists and has been poor the whole season, that's not okay. There's nothing complicated about that. If you're not sure of the player, if the only reason you're getting this player is because the manager wants him, I'm saying chill. I don't believe in manager get players.
I'm to believe this is just to. This is just to accommodate
it's manager and sporting director. Shields there too.
All right, man.
You gotta add both in it. Because I don't think it'll ever just be just a managerial thing. Like, sporting directors are gonna have a say in it too.
Cool. So if the
sporting director, but what I'm saying is if
sporting directors want him and we trust it, cool. Get him. Bring him in. Give him the number 10. Fuck it. What's the problem? But if he's not good enough, I'm gonna criticize it like he's like there is not gonna be Gittens is you know he's only 21, right? I don't give a fuck.
We can't do. We've invested in all of that already, man. We need to make sense.
Because if I pay 65 million for Due, I know what I'll be getting.
Exactly.
And he's 20. So I'm the young thing, I'm over that.
Big up, seen that.
Yeah, I'm over the young thing. PSG's already broke that.
That's cool. I'm cool.
Bro, but here's the funny part. We were linked with Due last year for 50 million, and everyone's another young player, 19-year-old.
I didn't know
That's
about
amazing.
that.
And Joey, this is why I don't like stick on anything. Pause.
Because
it's more
this
like
is what we were being told and once again, I don't even rate this guy, bro. I don't even rate this guy for me to be trying to, but I just feel like we just be turning our nose up at everything at any point. Anybody who's not a name that's been around in football for fucking 4 or 5 plus years, we just turn our nose at. That's all. That's the thing. All I'm saying is like if the manager wants this player, the scouting system has put this player in front of us, and the manager wants him. I'm not about to sit here and try to fight the way that they're working. I've been wrong about Duran. I was wrong about Samu. I was wrong about all these bunch of players that they've scouted. Due, fucking I've been wrong. So like, let them do their thing. If they end up being wrong, we criticize them afterwards. That's as much as I can really put it. I can only just put into perspective of what's happening and try to understand what's happening. That's it.
That man says he's still over it.
Well, using the guys that they didn't sign to credit them, I don't think that makes sense. I have to use the guys that they did sign. Yes, you scouted Duran, you scouted all these guys, but you signed Joey. They ain't signed none of those guys.
They signed Gui before all of them, man. So
you had a deal for Omorodion. You canceled.
They cancelled it.
You canceled it. He didn't cancel.
Right.
You canceled and decided you wanted to spend your money on Felix instead of him. So I mean, to me, it's like it's a very clear-cut thing. There is no credit for people you scouted. Everybody scouts. Arsenal's been telling us for years, I was going to sign Hazard. I was going to sign Messi. I was going to sign Big You're going to sign everybody. We know. You scouted them. But you didn't sign them. You didn't. They went somewhere else. So for the guys that you are signing, if you're telling me Doué is going to be of that talent, not Doué. If you're telling me
Gittens.
you can say like us as fans, we can say whatever we want. Yeah, we can. We can say, yo, I don't want Gittens. If Gittens comes here and he kills the league next season, whoever rated him, you can say I told you so. You can say that. I'm not taking, like we're saying, like I'm not taking that chance on the guys that they have signed. From what I've seen of this guy,
I think you're looking at it very black and white.
Well, I need my team next year. He's not good enough. If he proves me wrong, I'll put my camera on and you can laugh. I was proud to say I was wrong about Palmer. I was like, what the fuck?
Me too.
And that's what I was gonna jump in and say about what Daniel's saying. I agree too. Like even with Gittens, that's the problem. If it's unknown, I don't like it.
I hit the roof with Palmer.
Yo, what's good, guys?
Problem.
Big up Brussels. For everyone who don't know, Brussels is a Dortmund fan as well, so he's got a very good idea of what we're getting with Gittens.
I mean, I just wanted to talk about the recent form, guys, because you can't really go off of it because he didn't play much under the new coach, you know? Like, he just said he doesn't want to play. He wants to move on, so the coach stopped playing him. You need to look at his Champions League run when Sancho was there as well. He was actually very, very good. The true fact about him is, though, that he often... Like, he likes to take one-on-ones. He's good in counterattacks. He will run. But he sometimes struggles, you know? So he sometimes runs into defenders or just shoots into them. And I know maybe he can improve on that, but like on his Champions League run to the final, to Real Madrid, he was class, actually.
Okay, so a lot better in terms of transition. Still... has like his ups and downs again, which I will put down to his age as well. I don't want to write somebody off at his age. I really don't want to do that.
Yeah,
but you're ultimately saying like the bad stuff towards the end of the campaign, it's not necessarily a him problem. It's just more him ending his time with Dortmund early and just being kicked out.
I mean, yeah, it's his attitude as well. He shouldn't behave like that, but it happens. And when you compare him to Sancho, like for Chelsea, Sancho likes to take the ball on the wing, and then he just stops, turns around, and passes back. He doesn't often take this one-on-ones. But Gittens, on the other hand, he takes the ball, he drives forward, and he breaks the legs or break his own legs.
Okay. So yeah, again, more direct. Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit more about that too.
I think.
How do you think he translate into Premier League?
I mean, I think he used to play in Man City Academy, right?
Academy, yeah. But it's still a bit of a step up going to a first team.
Yeah, surely from Bundesliga as well. But I mean, he's more dynamic, than Sancho. Sancho, I think if you swapped both of them, each of them would do better in both of the teams,
We have heard a few rumors of that, but it's gone quiet now because the contract negotiations need to be sorted again.
I mean, from what I heard from my colleagues in Germany, Sancho is going more away, but they are interested in Chukwuemeka, though his injury proneness doesn't really help him.
Do you think they'll even pay the amount that we're asking for? Because I think we're still looking for 30-40 million.
They are max 35. They have a very stable policy, financial policies. They don't really 45 million, I think, would be their record transfer, So I see maybe an option of Gittens for Chukwuemeka plus some money from us, more likely.
Yeah, so Dortmund's record transfer fee.
It's really low.
It's really low. It's like 40 million.
Yeah, that's why they didn't want to buy Madsen as well.
Oh, well, yeah, because we were probably going to ask around 30, 35. I think that's what happened with Kellyman going the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dembele, 35 million euros is the most expensive transfer. Then you got Haller at 31, Hummels at 30. Well, Hummels, Jude, Adeyemi, Marlon, Schürrle, and Mesha. I can't pronounce that guy's name, but they all went for 30 million euros too. Fuck.
Yeah. Because they were like
big up, Scott,
on the verge of bankruptcy. So now they have the different policy that they don't buy really expensive players.
Okay, cool. Well, kind of a lot of the stuff that we've already heard in terms of Gittens, but it is good to know that, like, at least in terms of the way the season ended, it wasn't all necessarily he was just playing like dog shit and like everybody else was showing out but him. All right, that's calm.
Well, no, based on what Jez said, that wasn't good.
The player that he just described to me sounds like Noni.
It sounds just like Noni, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is
on the other side. If anything, Noni's better than If anything, Noni's better than Gittens.
Like,
oh Lord.
Well, I know.
People are saying bye bye Noni just to go get another Noni. It makes no sense.
All over again.
Like, what we doing?
All over again.
I feel more like he's on like a beginning level of Leao, you know, but like really low. But you can see the runs from him, like going past 3 people next to the corner flag and then crossing it in. That looks kind of like Leao, but yeah.
Good crosser?
Many.
I think he likes to cut in more, you know.
Okay.
Don't you look
direct?
My whole thing about all these wingers is that I think a lot of them are going to improve this next season because we're going to have 2 strikers that are better than the one that we had this last season in Jackson. Because we're going to have better movement in the box. We're going to listen. We're going to have better movement from either striker that we get in the box to score some of the opportunities that the wingers provided them. I mean, we're not looking. I mean, I can see that these kids are talented, but also at the same time, I understand like we're in the potential business now. So me expecting to buy a ready-made world-class player, that's not going to happen here at Chelsea anymore. It just isn't. So it's just about like, all right, if you can show me that you have potential, all right, let's see it. They're like a lot of the signings that we get, they usually get 2 years to show themselves, or we sell them off. That's the only reason why we keep them on 6-year contracts, so we can hold on to their sell value. So after 2 years, if you're not good enough, we'll sell you. I mean, and we're pretty good at getting at least good value back. So it is what it is, fellas.
Yeah, but I mean, the team is talking about a statement signing, and I cannot see anyone apart from like Rodrigo, Osimhen, and Leao to be a statement signing.
That's why I'm hoping. That's why I'm hoping what Ahmed keeps pushing. Like, I know he talks a lot of shit most of the time, and he's wrong. Big up to Ahmed and everything. But I hope he's right about the Leao thing, because bro, none of these guys were signing a needle movers in terms of like that big important signing we keep hearing about. None of them are. Like Ekitike, you think he is because of the price, but he's not in the terms of what we think of like an actual,
player,
like an actual guaranteed needle mover.
But again, his potential, his talent is there. It's obvious to see. Like I get why they're trying to sell him for the amount of money that they are, and I get why.
Oh yeah, no, bro.
I
fully expect them to.
Like
I expect them to get that as well. Frankfurt get the money they ask for. Like they very rarely when they trade these big players fail.
They get around it because they asked for 80 for Marmoush and they ended up taking 60. So like they get somewhere around it most of the time.
But I have a theory about Ekitike, that maybe our owners are actually looking at him on the side, like making deals with him, and then just waiting for the Gyökeres wage situation to drop down, so they have a backup if Gyökeres doesn't really want to. What do you guys think?
So I thought we pulled out of that Gyökeres thing.
We haven't. We're not. We haven't pulled out, but I just don't think Gyökeres is really on the cards for us. It's just. I just struggle to find him taking a deal from Paul Winstanley. Like from the way that he got treated at Brighton from Winstanley, I just struggle to see that being resolved in the manner that I think it could be resolved. But I've been wrong too.
His stocks have been higher since then. I'm sure they can, disagree.
Yeah, Matt Law said he didn't think Gyökeres was ready a year ago, and it might have changed now. But there's high wages and an age factoring into it.
I just think that even if we were to walk into that deal, like Winstanley would have to be very, very sorry for the way that he treated him at Brighton. Like that's all I gotta say.
He shouldn't be in the room.
He's not going to be in the room. Apologizing. There's like 10 other things he can apologize to.
Fucking hell, what did he do? Did he smash his wife?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What did he do to you?
No, apparently it's broken promises. Like there was a lot of things he got promised, and he broke all the promises that he was made.
Literally every promise, not
so
just
a breakdown in trust.
Just every promise.
Let me see.
Okay, so there's a trust.
Like was supposed to get into the first team, never even got a chance to break into the first team. Like was supposed to come in, like was supposedly promised that he was gonna get like brought up like in that next following year after he was promised like first team minutes from him playing in the B team minutes. Didn't get any of that. Like this is like this is like just like a like I said, sorries will have to be made. Like that's just it. Sorries will have to be made for us to be getting that across the line, in my opinion. That's just what I think.
Can't find anything on it.
What's that?
Yeah, just look up Winstanley and Gyökeres.
Yeah, I tried that. I might try it on Twitter. So I want to know what happened. I really want to know what happened. Yeah, no, I can't find anything on it. If I do, I'll let you know. The most I'm getting is John Obi Mikel quotes on it. Big up Emmanuel Drip saying Lookman is 27 and he's matured a lot, but he's another one that I just don't see us in for.
He probably won't leave now. He probably won't leave now. Gasparini's left Atalanta, but yeah, we should be all over that. We should be all over.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
he's not leaving, bro. They picked him over Gasparini. He's not leaving.
They didn't pick him over. Gasparini left of his own accord. Like
I know, but they could have signed Gasparini to another contract.
No, he wanted to leave. As in
I know, but bro, that's because they didn't. Because that's because they weren't going to give him the type of support that they were giving him over the years. Like this has been like a battle between the board, what he's done to the players, and Gasparini for the last year.
So basically, he didn't want to sell.
Leaving, bro. Lookman's not leaving, bro. I'm telling you right now, he's not leaving.
So basically, Gasparini wanted to sell Lookman, and the board didn't, and they just said like, "All right, you can leave."
No, he left.
He will leave.
He was at the end of his contract, Scott.
Say again?
He was at the end of his contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and he chose to walk.
Yeah, like I mean, I think there's more to it than that, but okay, that's fair. I just think that a lot of things are black and white for people. That's it.
Big up to Alios saying Wham to Yarame links doesn't look bad. He seems like Como's interested in him now.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was something about Strasbourg.
Yarame was always for Strasbourg, anyways, from my understanding.
Yeah, because the idea would have been to loan him over there. Yeah, that makes sense. Either way, Yarame links, that's another one that's gone quiet. I think Como's interested in him, but from a Chelsea front, bar January, there's been no links, no conversations, no nothing.
Rooney Bargy links? No?
No, that brother's just come back from his injury, ain't he?
Yeah, that boy, he's been out all year, man.
He's been out all year.
At least the good thing is the goalkeeper links look a little bit more promising.
Outside of Trafford.
Yeah. Chevalier, though, Mignon, Bulker, that's decent. Diogo Costa's always going to be there.
Okay.
Just put Petrovic in the team and like.
I'm surprised Steinberg said he's one of the players that we're looking to sell.
These men love doing this. These men love doing this stupidness where it's like You literally don't have to spend any money. You get one of the best keepers in Ligue 1. You've actually managed, like you've seen that. You said in the group chat earlier, your idea, this multi-club model, worked. It worked, and you might be selling him to go and buy and replace someone. I just fucking, what's the point, man?
It's just
Like,
that
I don't understand why we're like.
They
the thing
love
is
moving the goalpost, though. That's my.
The thing is like the thing is we're here is like Lucas Chevalier didn't play better than Petrovic in the same league.
I just don't get them, man.
Yeah,
he didn't play better. Neither did Volka. Volka didn't play better than Petrovic in the same
I can't
league.
lie to you. I completely agree with what CFC Ed said, by the way. Like, bro, that Trafford thing, bro, if we get him, I don't think we will. If we get him, it's just this City thing. That's all it is. And that's going to piss me off. That's going to be where the Joe Shields, like, loving and the Joe Shields immediately dies if we get Trafford.
We got to draw the line at some point, bro.
We really don't see it too
much. I like their academy. It's fucking every single youngster coming from City thing.
He's like 2 for 4, or 2 for 5 right now.
Who's the 5?
Amazing. The rest mid.
Crucial hours on Jadon Sancho. Get ready. Decision expected imminently, people.
Yeah, honestly, guys, I think he's gonna stay.
If we get Jadon, I don't think we get Gittens. If Jadon's resigns, I don't think we get Gittens.
Imminently. Oh well.
Very, very soon.
What's imminently then? So he's gonna come back, or
in a couple of days?
No, soon. That means like imminent. It's gonna happen soon.
I mean, I can't imagine him dropping his wages. He's unhappy. He cannot find a move.
He has to drop his wages. He's not. It's impossible to decide about dropping his wages.
There's no way he agreed to the obligation without that being the case. I think now we've just dropped it from even what we probably agreed at the start of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what's causing this like little
been earning that Manchester wage, living in London. Yeah, fuck off, mate.
No. I don't think you ever would have come here expecting that, because like our wage structure been clear from the start. And even if that was the case, he needs to know he ain't done nearly enough to even like try and warrant that sort of
cost of living as well, bro.
I think it won't be. I just don't think it would be Gittens if we get Sancho. Like I think we can still get
I would prefer that than getting.
I'll prefer, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Brendan, I agree, and I agree with you. Like, it can't be both, because Sancho can't be the starter for us in the league. He just, like, we've seen it this season, he just can't. Europe's a different story, but he can't be the starter. I'm not starting Gittens either in the league.
And that's
no, of course not. No way.
And that's the thing that Daniel was saying. I prefer this because I know I can get out of Sancho, not no fucking Gittens, bro. I don't know. It just sounds like Noni, and it's just way too risky, bro. I'm tired.
Yo. I mean, but they're like, it's not Noni,
the option's not that
like,
good, is it? Like,
they're not the same player, though. That's the thing. But I do have a question for y'all. If we do get Gittens, do you feel like we will still get another left winger? Like, let's say,
no, we have to.
No.
We have to. No. But
I think it'd be.
No, you want to know why? I think we could still get another winger and it not be with Sancho. It's only 25 million. It's just like a relatively like minuscule amount of money that we're spending.
Okay, let me ask you this: so, if hypothetically, if Jadon Sancho stays, that means say no. So no to the winger then. If we get Gittens.
Well, I think the whole winger thing depends on what's going to happen with George. If the plan is to keep George, you don't need 2 wingers in terms of in the squad. You have the numbers. From a numbers perspective, fuck quality for a second, because I know people say, "Oh, but he's not good enough." Fuck quality. In terms of numbers, you do not need another winger. You have 2 in each position. But if the plan is to loan George out, you need to get 2 wingers regardless, because then we're going to have none.
Oh yeah, of course, have to now. If they get loaned out.
And I mean, the only problem of having Gittens and Sancho on the left as our main options is they are both inconsistent. So when they are both cold, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know, you're lacking.
Hey.
But it kind of is similar to the striker options for now. We are not really looking for someone like a class like Osimhen and Gyökeres. They're on the side waiting, but we are taking like options that could develop. You know, maybe it's the same for the wingers.
That's my other thing too about the Ekitike, because if I don't think he's joining, but even if he does, then who's our number 1 then? Because then all 3 of them competing now. Is that what's going on?
That's
Like, basically,
that Ekitike stuff. I think
Ekitike would be the starter based on price.
Money.
I think Delap should be the starter regardless.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking Delap.
I would
You
agree
ain't
with
spending
that.
84 million to be on the bench.
But
Yeah,
at
you
the
don't
same
spend that kind of
time,
money. Not in the position we're in. You don't spend that kind of money to put the guy on the bench.
You guys
but
don't think
also,
we're gonna
like,
go in for another striker apart from Ekitike to get the lap? You don't.
No,
I really do think Hugo is like we'll get some like more serious news on Hugo by the end of the day. Like
Yeah, if we get those two, we're not getting another striker.
And we're
Oh my god!
Yeah.
credit for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I don't think people realize the value of having two players that Frankfurt want. Like that's kind of the other side.
But we
of this.
don't.
I'm sorry.
Big up, Jimmy.
We as a club don't. The Blue Coat does. We as a club don't.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. It's literally irrelevant. We own those players. It's irrelevant.
Do we own Sharkbird players?
Unless we're going to do a deal with them where we say if you let us pay less, you can pay less of thing.
That's exactly how it's going to go.
I still don't think
they want to spend less than 30 million on Bakwa, and we want almost 45. So
it's about what do you want to give up? You want to give up Bakwa for 30, and you give us Ekitike for, let's say, 60 million.
Exactly, bro. Prices could be met because of the fact we have players that we technically own that they want. Two of them, not just one, two of them. They want both wingers from Strasbourg, both of them, Nanasi and Bakwa. So like this isn't like I just think that this is closer than people are giving it an understanding to. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know, man.
Now, if you say Ekitike for like 60 million euros, then I'll be like, all right.
Well, it's not going to be 60 million euros. It'll be 60
million. It's not going to be 60 million euros.
Okay,
it's going to be 70 million euros at
60,
least.
even 60 million pounds, I'll be like, all right, I can roll with that. Like 84 million pounds for Ekitike.
Yeah, of course. Like the number is crazy. Like I get it, but it's not our fucking money, bro. We just
Ekitike is worth 50, man.
My whole thing is like starting this season, it's either Prem or UCL like it used to be, because now we have top four. We've laid the groundwork on as far as this project is concerned. Now it's time to start winning something for real. So if this is like, I'm just sitting back waiting and looking and observing how we're going to be moving as a club going forward, because I'm going to excuse the Bowley one because they kind of screwed him out as far as not allowing him to get people in to help him, find targets and whatnot. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. This is, 3 years removed. We already, we figured out a few things or whatever. So this is going to show me more or less how we're going to be moving as a club. So, and if this is how we're going to move, all right, the standard is still the same. You get us a UCL or the Prem every year that we're in the UCL, or just basically every year that we can go for those titles. And if you don't, then something needs to happen.
I mean, I thought the same, but now that I look at our priority targets, Delap, Ekitike, and Gittens, I don't really see like a winning team. I see
they know
getting Champions League.
Who they're coming to though. Like they know that Chelsea is a different club than most clubs as far as the standards, how the fans react to players, how we.
Yeah, I mean, they can know where they are coming to, right? But it doesn't mean they are gonna perform.
You're right, but that's not, and I mean, I can't say that's not their fault, but they know what they signed up for, man. Like that's the same thing as me asking like a young, who's that young Brazilian kid that went to Real Madrid?
Hendrick.
Yeah, that's like me saying like, hey man, you gotta we're gonna give you time even though you're 18 years old, but you're going to the biggest club in the world. No, their standards don't change. So how can we say that about them and then we think of ourselves as a big club and not do the same thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they have the first options, we don't. Our first option is mid, to be honest, and they have like Mbappe and their forwards are good, and they can have an Hendrick on the bench waiting to develop, but we are just bringing 3 different develop options and then hoping one of them hits.
then
He
I
just
would say
gambled.
They're going a little bit too far,
me, I'm
bro,
of,
than everybody think.
I'm of the mindset
He
that
just,
we need to
this
get
is what we do. We just gamble.
Yeah,
what was
Gamble,
that?
hello,
gamble potential, gamble potential. No
Yo.
competition.
Oh, nah, just checking.
Yeah, what are you saying?
What?
I thought you were saying something.
No, why?
No, I'm seeing his
Why
sense,
everybody always only see negative with every signing? I remember last
We
year.
don't see
all our
negatives.
signings,
No.
This was the same thing being said. Oh, we're not gonna get top 4. Oh, we got a championship manager. This. Like, yo, man, relax, bro. Relax. Like, we can't sit and complain about how bad Jackson is, right? And see why he's not good. Then look at Delap and think Delap's not gonna be better. Like, what are you watching? What?
That's why I try and speak from both sides of the coin, isn't it?
Yeah. What are you watching? If Jackson was that bad as a striker, and we find somebody 15-20% better, that's fighting for a league. So this idea that, oh, if we don't get this player, this club's not serious. We're not fighting. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. They're spending serious money. They've done their homework. There's been a lot of players y'all wanted to throw away. I can name one. Reece James. I've been on this panel and listened y'all say, get rid of Reece James. He's done. Get rid of him. I've been on this panel and heard that. Cucurella, get rid of him. I've been on this panel and heard that. Chill. Sometimes, like, y'all, like, I don't mind a little bit of estimate, but it's all negative. Oh, if we get these 3 guys, we're not serious. Man, shut the fuck up. Getting these 3 guys, yeah, I think it is serious. Are they the big 3 names that you hope? No, but so what? So what? It's nothing average about these players. Because if it was, Liverpool and all these other big clubs wouldn't be going for them. Y'all acting like we digging for out of the pack. We going for the best young players coming up. Like the same fucking when we went for Dewey last year. Everybody loves Dewey now. Oh, Dewey, look, we need players like this. I remember being on this panel and people saying, and everybody in here said, we don't need any more kids. I was
Jimmy, Duran and Rodion, not to stop your flow, Duran and Rodion's why I'm not really talking down too much any of the moves that we got right now.
I was right here. I remember everybody. That's why when I looked on my timeline and I saw everybody glazing Dewey, I said, ain't this a bitch? Our fucking owners tried to get him. The only reason they didn't get him is because he wanted to go where he went. Paris. He turned down Bayern Munich and he turned down Chelsea to stay in Paris.
We weren't even in the conversation because we didn't have UCL. That's basically.
No, we were in the conversation.
I'm saying, like, it was UCL. It was
UCL that's not true, bro. That's not true. Yo, y'all be throwing out shit that don't be even nowhere near true, bro. Nowhere near.
All right.
Nowhere near. We signed his brother. He was that was about to be a package.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you,
Jimmy. Thank you, bro. People just.
I'm old enough to remember, bro. This shit only happened last year. How y'all forget this shit? It just happened last year.
I mean, from my perspective, it's just like I don't see the current ability of these players to be high enough to compete. But if they are bringing them from a lot of scouting and they know they are gonna fit in the team, then I trust them. And if they're actually gonna perform well to the point we are chasing the league or playing well in the Champions League, I'm gonna apologize. But at this point, when I see who they want to sign, I don't see it.
But that's why, to me, it's like you always gotta let the move cook at least. I also just quickly before you go, big up JDN. Hey, one sec. Big up JDN saying 1,000% Jimmy. Half the fan base want the club to build a time machine and go back and sign Prime, Ronaldo, and Messi. It's like a fallback to the old Roman era of old. Big up JDM.
I'll
That's
just
why
say
for
this,
me,
and I'll let
personally,
everybody
again,
else.
I let them cook. But yeah,
But listen,
big up.
I'll say this. I don't have no. If we just would have signed Osherman and you would have been happy, that's cool for you. But I'm actually cool with Delap and Ekitike, or Delap and whoever. I'm actually cool with 2 new strikers. That's 2 more bites at the apple than 1 Dembele. I'm saying 1 Osherman. I'm sorry. That's how it goes, bro. I'd rather take 2 swings with those 2 young players than 1 swing with Osherman. I'd rather, if you ask me to take the odds, I would take my odds on the 2 young players that got potential to be great than just Osherman. I would. Now, if I wouldn't cry if I had Osherman, but I'm not gonna cry if I got those 2. I'm just not.
But Jimmy,
I'm not saying
Jimmy,
you wrong.
What do you want? What do you want for next season?
We don't care about your opinion. Your opinion is invalid. You don't get no opinion.
What do you want for next season?
You said about last year was wrong. So Reaper, kindly, respectfully, shut the fuck up.
What do you guys want for next season? Actually, just out of curiosity.
The title challenge.
Compete for the league.
Title challenge.
Win a trophy.
Prem or UCL.
Thank you.
Prem or UCL.
That's the thing, because I feel like you need someone quality over quantity for next season if you want to complete all the 4 competitions.
The thing is, the quality is there, though. That's what Jimmy was saying. The quality is there with these young kids. It's the experience is lacking, but we've clearly been consistent on we want them to all grow together. So it's going to take a longer time than what we are used to.
We are in the Champions League football, man. We need better signing than that.
I mean, personally, I think like I would love to chase for the title and the Champions League, but I think the team current like cohesion and ability, maybe next season we could win like Europa League, but we are not there, right?
Let me ask you a question. Did you see PSG winning Did you see PSG winning?
No, they didn't. Don't even
this
waste
year?
your time asking him that. Nobody would have said PSG would have won it. Nobody. The year,
that actually that's a good point.
UCL. Who saw that? Who saw that with that bum ass team? Who saw that?
Right.
saw Napoli
Just as
selling
far as 8 months ago,
Guevara
Luis
and
Enrique
Osimhen
was
and
being
still
called a
winning
boring
Serie A.
sideways possession merchant.
Yep. Yo, and by the way, if we had Luis Enrique last year, we would have wanted him set.
Yeah.
We would have wanted him set.
And another thing that I gotta cut. Yo, bitching about every signing is not standards. It's just make you a cunt. That's it. Wishing negative on every signing is not standards. It just make you a bitch. That's all it means. I don't like this one. I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. But then it works out. And then you go, yeah, we made it. Man, go suck a dick. CFC Reaper, you're who I'm talking to, nigga, directly. Eat a dick, Reaper. I'm out.
Damn.
Yeah, Reaper, I can't lie, bruv. Like, oh shit, yeah, I just dropped the bomber and left. Yeah, I can't lie. You would have had the same critics for Enrique that you would have had in his first season for Morata.
Can I just address what Kai said something to me earlier? And Kai, yeah, I'm expecting a title challenge with Delap, and I expect the same with Gittens coming. It's like what Daniel said earlier. I'm not doing this 2 year. We wait 2 years thing shit anymore. No, like people want to use the PSG thing. Let's use the PSG thing. Young players just want a Champions League. Cool. So it doesn't matter your age. It matters if you're good enough. So these players, if they're good enough, we don't need 2 years to wait for them to get good enough to win the league or challenge for the league. Yep. So if Gittens comes in, he needs to hit immediately. I'm not waiting. Delap, hit immediately. Ekitike, hit immediately. There's no waiting.
No. Yes, so I'm with you
There's
as
no
well,
waiting.
man, because
You
we
hit
can't keep
immediately.
waiting.
If you don't, you're not good enough. Leave.
I didn't even know.
We can't afford to wait for another year without trophy again. No.
No, we don't have to. If these guys are good enough, we challenge immediately.
Because if you get signed here, then that means that we're saying you're good enough.
Bro.
We're not. This isn't a charity. Like you gotta perform when you get here.
Can I respond to the whole waffling that Jimmy was like talking about like a second ago? These guys, I'll be happy with them. He explicitly said that he will not be happy with anybody better than Jackson. It's an upgrade. It's gonna be somebody like an Osherman. Now all of a sudden, when the owner signs Delap, all of a sudden we change the script to acting like we're happy with a guy who scored the same amount of non-penalty goals as Jackson, and we seen what that got us last season, bro. And I don't know how does his math, bro, because 2 goals more than Jackson isn't 20% more.
Yeah,
bro,
that's
of an
that.
output.
I can give you the math on that. That's
That math
like
isn't mathing, bro. No, if you're gonna give me the math, don't. Yeah, but don't.
comparing a
If
guy
you're gonna
who
give me
had
the math, give me
second
objective
most
math, bro. Don't
amount
give
of
me. I
chances
think he
given
holds the
to him,
ball
the
better than
most
Jackson.
amount
He
of
will do better. Don't.
chances, and you're comparing him to a guy who played at a relegation squad.
Joey,
who had the same amount of chances. Man, this type of shit is the reason
Both and
why
I,
we're
both
here,
and
bro.
I, both and I work in
No,
a corporate
squad.
environment.
This is why we're
Listen,
here, bro.
Why do
bro,
you
shut
guys
your mouth. Let me
always
finish my
pick
point. Let me finish my
yourselves
point.
fucking
I'm tired of
You
this
just want to
waffling.
throw things out the bag right away,
One
bro.
at
Throw
a
them out. The
time.
season's over.
Bro, both of I,
go
both,
on,
Sorry,
both
Lewis.
you and I work in corporate environment. What if me and you says to our fucking bosses, "Oh, I think this guy, the way that this stakeholder hold the pen and he does this presentation this way, I think it will be in 20%." You know what will happen to you? You get spit in your face and fire, bro.
Yeah,
Don't tell me I think
I'll
based
bet
on
you
how
if
he
I
rolled
came
the
up
ball.
to my boss and I told him this guy is doing as much sales as this guy and he's getting half the amount of leads, then yeah, this guy deserves an opportunity to be more successful. I would, and they would look at me and they'll be like, "Oh, that actually makes sense.
Bro,
He's getting
you're
half
lying
the
to
amount of
people in the
leads.
chat.
He's making
You're
as
lying
much
to
sales
people.
as the guy that we have in front
Either
of
two
us."
things.
Yeah,
Either
in
two
my
things.
corporate world, they would look at that guy and be like, "Oh yeah, that actually looks like a guy that actually
Probably
would do
Walmart
something."
then, bro. Probably
If we
fucking
gave him
Walmart.
more
Because
opportunity.
any fucking corporate environment you work with that you don't follow by numbers, nobody will fucking listen to you, bro.
I
You either
just
work
gave
in a
you
very
numbers,
low.
guy. What are you talking about?
Bro,
I
you work.
just gave
You
I'm in
work a
sales.
middle job then,
If
bro.
a
You
guy
work in the middle
comes up,
line or below it,
Kai,
bro.
let me
That's
finish.
This is
If
the
a guy
way
comes
the
up,
process
if a guy
is.
comes up
You
and
one of
says,
the you're one of the biggest hypocrites, bro. You're talking to me
"How?
about Ocean, we need an
How?
upgrade. Now all of a sudden you're happy with Delap with 12 goals,
No, I'm
bro.
not happy with
Bro,
the
I'm
lap. I
tired
just
of this
understand
fucking.
where we are.
No,
I'm
the
not
only
where
people, the
I'm
only
not where
people, the
I'm
only
not. I
people on
accept
this
where we
panel,
are
the
as a
only people
football
on this
club.
panel that I
That's it.
respect from now on is Scott and fucking Daniel because they
Oh,
still
boo
online.
hoo! Give me a
You
break.
fuckers
I
move
need
with the
your
owners so they
respect.
like you, bro.
From what?
You just
You
want to
call
be.
that
I
an
don't
app,
give a fuck if
bro.
you're
What
likable.
Give
the
me a
fuck
break,
did I
bro.
do, man?
What
Give me
did
a
I
break.
do?
No, from the one I know,
Give
I
me a
don't know
break.
all
Talk out of
you
your
new
ass,
guys. I
bro.
don't know you guys.
Talk
Yeah, I
out
don't
your
know you
I
from
mean,
where you
I
stand.
don't
But this
know
Bro,
is
you
where I
just
you
stand,
either,
bro.
brought
but
corporate
fuck
world
you,
into
man.
this.
Shit.
I gave you a
Because
you
because
just
your reasoning is
blew it out the
stupid,
bag.
bro. Your reasoning
I
is
just
stupid.
gave
What
you a
did I
corporate.
say?
Bro, I literally
You
just
said
gave
you want
you a
Christensen
corporate.
back, you fraud.
What are you
Give
talking
us
Yeah,
now
about?
back
bring back the
then.
Your
Danish
reasoning is
Maldini.
I
He's
don't
just won a
understand.
league
How
title.
is
You
he
fool.
based on what
I
is he
said
literally
that.
20% better
Bring
than
that
just
Jackson?
gave
back
you
then.
a corporate analogy and you threw it out the window. Like
Because your corporate knowledge is stupid. Anybody who works
Wait,
the corporate knowledge
Kai,
would say
Kai,
you're the
hold on,
lion or
bro.
whatever,
Give
bro.
me a break, bro.
Kai,
I
address the
just gave you a
analogy, right?
corporate analogy that would actually make sense, and you just
address
blew it out the bag,
the
bro.
corporate analogy,
It
Kai.
would not.
Let me put it this way. Maybe this is happening. He is 20% better in sales with less leads. But he's selling Toyotas. The other guy is selling Porsches. It's different.
Bro,
The pressure
no,
and
I
everything.
mean,
Chelsea.
if you look at Delap and
if you look at
Jackson,
numbers, if you
like,
look at numbers, Daniel, if you look at numbers, he doesn't have that
yeah,
objective
but
fucking increase
it's
that you're
just
talking about, bro.
statistically. If you look Delap and Jackson statistically, there is not much of a difference. But when you look at
And
the
one of them took 2 penalties,
situations
bro.
like
One of them
in the
have
box
2
or
penalties
like
too, bro.
counters on one with the keeper, compared to Delap, I think Jackson just looks goofy.
Oh yeah, he
No,
definitely does.
bro, it's not only thing. It's just all this backtracking that
Compared
they're
to my
doing.
average,
First,
Jackson
all of
is
us,
like-
all of us
All right. I'm
established
not
on this fucking
backtracking,
panel.
bro. I'm literally
All these
not
people
backtracking.
on this panel established that we need a better striker. Now all of a sudden we're saying, Delap is all right. We can challenge. No, I want to challenge. I don't want to challenge. I don't want to challenge for top 4 again and barely make it like we did this season. Because this is not fair to us. It's not fair to what's his name. It's not fair to Cucurella. It's not fair to Enzo. It's not fair to
Yeah, I mean, I
Casado.
see
It's
the
not fair to
point.
all these guys, bro.
Delap,
Okay.
like on paper, he seems like too small of
Big
an
up, Joey.
improvement.
Wait. Can I respond? Can I respond to Kirst?
Hey.
Hey, my prediction about Mount sold. My prediction about about Noni is about to be sold. Is not rated. My prediction about Jackson, when all of you were sucking him off, saying we can win a title with him. Where was I? I said he's gonna be sold in 2 or 3 years. He's not gonna even make it. So most of my prediction was right. Also, what's his name? The guy who's playing for West Ham now, that everybody in the league is talking about and want. My prediction, the only time I was wrong about the prediction, I said Palmer wasn't proven. I never said he's going to be shit. I said he wasn't proven. But you can't use every fucking thing for fucking what's his name, man. Not every striker we're going to get from this Joe Shield guy guy is gonna be a fucking Palmer, man. So all these people, bro, the difference with you and me is you have this emotions attachment to these owners. My emotional attachment is to Chelsea. And we are not this type of fucking club to be sitting here and be like, oh yeah, Delap is gonna be this. How the fuck do you know? We had this experience that led us nowhere for this season, bro.
I mean,
Jay,
as I
DM
said,
me if you want to jump on,
I
bro.
do think I'm annoyed Joey's gone.
DM me on Twitter.
I wanted to ask Joey something. Because I do like Delap. Delap is the one I will say that I think can scale up, because you look at his numbers at Ipswich and like the underlying stuff, and it does scale up. Ekitike is the one I'm looking at and going, like, to me there just isn't much of a difference, especially for what we're going to pay. I do want to ask though, and I've had this opinion I think since a couple of days ago. All the people, I want to know what people's opinion, and this is more to the people that said we have to wait until we get Champions League before we see what type of players we're linked with. Cool. Now why aren't you switching based on what type of players we're linked with? Because I got told we have to wait. I got told we have to wait and see what happens. Because when I was saying they're going to do the same bullshit that they've always done, it doesn't matter whether we have Champions League or not. I got told wait and see what happens. Now we've got Champions League and it's the same bullshit we've always done. And this is why
always knew that was going to happen. But we always knew this was going to happen.
I'm going to try and do what Cenac said. If we end the window with a Leao or something like that, then I'll completely go back on this. But I'm going to wait and sit back and see what happens. And if we end the window with Gittens, Ekitike, and Delap, and then probably a Brantford at centre back, that's no fucking different than what we've done every window whether we've had Champions League or not. So I'm gonna just wait and see what happens. And if that happens, then we need to have conversations.
But, but the thing is, we know that's what's gonna happen. I don't understand where this. Like, I've always felt,
no, Ahmed, I agree with you, but I got told we need to wait and see what happens.
I got told it's
going to change.
I know, Scott. Yeah, but I remember 2 months ago. Yeah, I said if we get UCL football and we get in the lap on someone else, yeah, that is the most logical solution. That's probably gonna happen in this football club. That's why,
but that wasn't the point, Ahmed. The point is everybody on this panel thought that we need somebody else, and everybody agreed that we're not going to be happy if we get that. But now all of a sudden they're moving and their ass cheeks are grinding.
No, I understand that, Kai. But the reality, again, it's a reality. This is the reality of how our club works. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, bro. Like, this is the way the club moves.
We got told different. We got told
people are acting like we got top 4 in this like crazy fucking comfortable fashion. We scraped it.
I think people are hoping, and I've always said this before, that once you get Champions League football, maybe that means that the club is gonna maybe change. But the club is never. But the club have shown you the last 2 to 3 seasons that they're not going to change and stick by their rules. So I don't really see how that was. How I understand maybe the thought of like now you've got a bit more money in the bank, something's gonna happen. But if they've moved like this consistently for, like,
there were concrete links to top strikers, to better strikers than the one we got into. At least as far as numbers. Yeah,
the only problem is they said they're gonna go for a statement signing. And what they want to sign right now is not a statement, right?
I don't even know what statement means. Is it based on how much the price is or the quality of the player?
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with the young players, but a statement signing is someone that is currently performing like top level, in my opinion.
That's what I'm thinking. So when they say statement, what do you mean by that? Because
you know what,
saying 90 million is a statement.
And you know what? We need for this panel to stop acting stupid. You know what a statement signing is, bro. Stop acting like you don't know what.
What we know about.
I think the question is because, like, I agree with you. Like, for us, a statement signing is a Osimhen
Yoker.
Yeah, somebody who can elevate us to the next level.
I think the statement signing they're thinking of is price. But I think Ekitike is a statement signing. I think Ekitike is a statement signing because it's the price we're paying for him.
It's not the right signing. Not the right statement.
I agree, it's not the right signing. But
we cannot say it's the wrong signing.
We can't say it's not the right signing until we actually see him.
It's not a statement signing, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they had the same opinion about Jackson. People say,
this is why I think everyone's having the disagreement. It's people who aren't like really with the signing, but will allow it the opportunity to cook, to people who are just against it from the start. That's why I think the disagreements are coming from. I don't think anyone's saying like fucking getting Ekitike for 84 million is ideal for anybody. But I also won't write it off from the start because I want to see what he does before I say whether it's a shit move or not.
Yeah, at the end of the day, even though I think it's shit, if he proves me wrong, I don't mind saying I was wrong. You get what I'm saying? That's my
And also,
I'll bring up the pros and the cons. And I'll just say, like, look, this guy ain't done anything for me to get gassed about, but go and do something. You
And
still have a
also-
ceiling. You're still very young. You could still get a lot better. Let's see if these sporting directors were cooking, or let's see if it's shit. That was my energy for nearly all the transfers last summer. And then the more the season went through, the more I was like, well, these 2 windows sucked. It's barely improved us. But you let it cook and you get to that conclusion. At least that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I guess just everyone else sees a statement signing as something else, right?
Yeah.
Everyone
That's the problem.
Statement signing is someone that's proven and like on big money.
Yeah.
I mean, or big transfer fee, innit?
Everyone
I
wants
mean,
to-
according
big
to
name.
our guys, they don't see it like our owners. For them, Ekitike is a statement signing. Then
that
Well, if it
where
is,
the
he
issue
better be a statement level player.
I hope we
And
will
if he
see.
ain't, you lot are a
Again,
disgrace.
Again, we
I
said
mean-
this before. Like we gamble on signings that it's going to be potential. Like, why are we going to wait for the next couple of years?
No,
What?
No,
what
but
if-
the thing is, the reason, and this is where, like, I think someone put it in the comments, and I disagree slightly. Of like, we'll be stuck with Ekitike if it goes wrong. We won't, and I think this is one of the unfortunate, because you shouldn't think like this, but this is one of the unfortunate. I don't even know if there's an upside of getting some of these players. Is if they do flop, you can at least sell them back on for a decent amount and not lose a lot of money because they're young
Bingo.
and they still have that upside, which sucks.
That's why
You should like. I don't give a
But
shit
is-
thinking that way. I think thinking that
Is that
way
really, is
as
that
a
really the thing
football
you should
club,
have as a football
as a
club, though?
no,
This
no,
guy
no.
Delap-
Right.
No,
I think
no,
running
no,
it's
going
not,
that way
though.
as a
That's the reality.
I think
But
going
look,
that way
if
as
you
a
look
football
at it the
club
way
is
that
stupid.
it's been if you look at how we've been moving the first 2 or 3 years, like that's how they've moved. If they don't
Yeah.
do anything in 2 years to the level that they expect them to, they're gonna get sold. That's why we have a lot of
Yeah, they
people
care.
getting
They care
sold
about
this
resale
summer
value. I
and
think that's
also
why.
did last summer. Exactly.
We spoke about this yesterday. I think on Cash. I think that's why Gyökeres isn't being signed by us and by other teams because there's no resale value if it flops. Now I don't think he flops, but if he does flop, there's no resale value. If an Ekitike
I mean-
flops, you can still sell it for half of what you paid him for, minimum.
We also have to remember that our owners like bomb us a lot, like Enzo Caicedo. You know, like last minute maybe they drop Osimhen or something like that. We never know with them actually.
I'll be very honest with you.
If they're going to allow number nine,
If you ever want to find out someone from left field, it's probably some young guy they scouted that we haven't looked at for like 4 or 5 months. Again,
Can I,
easy
Luis,
snap I can give you.
can I address the chat because I gotta go in a little bit, yeah? First of
Yeah,
all,
no worries.
the reason Kai is upset, people saying like Kai is really upset. Yes, I am upset because we wasted 2 seasons just to go back to the same situation we were when Roman came. We still need signings in attack. We still need to improve the attack, but now we were able to kind of fucking brainwash ourselves that everything is doing great, although we barely got top 4, that everything is fine. But the reality is we wasted 2 seasons. This is our 3rd season into the same, 4th season actually, right? Because already the 4th season we're going into, we still have similar issues that we had to before they came in. Yeah. And now here we are again, trying to fight for top 4, signings for top 4. I'm sorry, but you cannot challenge to the league with Liam Delap, bro. You cannot. You cannot.
Also, Dario Sugo has just completed this Chelsea move.
So that's my whole point, man. It's just sad, bro, because we should be a lot better than where we are now, man.
I mean, I think our like base team with the young players is good enough, so we could bring like 2 actual statement signings that are a bit older but are known for performing.
That was my hope as far as bringing in an Osimhen
You know
or
what?
a
I'll
Rodrigo
say
or
this.
Leao, but it's clear that we're not going to move in that direction for whatever reason. So it's going to take a longer time than what we all want it to happen. Like it just is. Like they're trying to grow
2
this
years.
thing,
It's been
grow
another
and
2 years as I said before.
slow and
The
grow.
thing is, you
Like,
know what?
that's
It depends on
philosophy
what
that
people
we've
want,
now
really.
adapted.
Like, I want us to compete next season. I want us to get like, because we're gonna get that Champions League next season. I think there's a chance that we might win it, but in order to do that, we got to get the right players.
Yeah, you have a chance to also fucking end up with Mia Khalifa, bro. But that's not a chance that is gonna happen, bro. It's a very low chance.
Buddy, hell, guy.
I mean, I wanted
if
like
you want
Champions
some
League
diseases, then go ahead, knock yourself out.
competing
If you want
for
to take
Champions
that.
League and shit as well. But when we are saying these young players, I feel like we're gonna fall in a coma season again.
Bro, but the issue is not that even the young players. It's the quality of the young players we sign. We don't sign the best of the best, though.
Yeah, and
I
like
know
I said,
Jimmy likes to think so, but
I'm
we
not
don't.
hearing this
Again,
young
I
shit
mean,
anymore.
that's why I go back to Delap and Ekitike over just Jackson by himself. That's actually an improvement, like what Joey and what Jimmy said earlier. Now,
No.
is it the improvement that I wanted? Hell no. It's not. But it
But it's
like you
better
just
than
got to
what
go from
Jackson was
there,
doing,
and
man.
then just like they're trying to bank on Maresca being the guy to eventually put it all together and make it go forward. If he's
Exactly.
not that guy this year, sell him. Like we can fire him and go find the next best coach. Which, in my opinion, I think that's what's going to happen this year. Because I expect to go for the UCL or the Prem. I don't think we will get either one of them. So Maresca's going to have to go. He's gotten his 2 years. He didn't deliver. He's going to end up being fired. I hope he proves me wrong, but it is
It's
what
not
it
his,
is.
it's not his fault, bro. I'll be real. A lot of
It's no
managers
one's fault.
wouldn't do
It's
so.
it's the
It's not
SG,
his
it's
fault.
the owner, it's the sporting director's fault because they're the ones who are putting this thing together and they're doing and like however we feel about it, like it's all based off of what they're doing to
I
build
mean,
this
the main
squad.
thing is this gambling on striker thing, on young striker things. It has to hit. Because if it doesn't hit, we're just gonna every year keep improving 10%. The striker is gonna be 10% better every year, and we're just
We
gonna wait.
cannot keep
And also for
gambling.
every young Due that they had, like they also had a Dembele. They
I
also
don't-
had they also had some established people around him so that he could be who he is now. So
By,
like
by the
come
way,
on
I just
now.
want to. Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to this argument people want to use. And I've just seen in the chat of we signed proven players before, and using the examples of Sterling and Koulibaly.
Yeah.
A washed Sterling, a guy who was on the decline when he joined us, who was on the decline, and Koulibaly, who'd spent his entire career in the Serie A and was like 33 when we signed him, as the example here. I'm not asking for 35-year-olds. I'm asking for a 27-year-old.
Yeah. You know what's funny about this, Scott?
Who's in his prime.
None of these fuckers talk about like the signings like Fabregas and Costa and all these guys that we sign in their prime who won us league titles. Yeah, they always go towards the worst of the worst signings that we have and say, "You see what happens when we sign the top of the top players?" It's like,
I
we
mean,
also signed fucking Mikelele. We also signed fucking a lot of players who
We're
are.
not in that era anymore.
No, I'm not gonna say Giroud, bro. Because Giroud is I don't
no,
consider him a
but
successful signing, bro.
Giroud was he was a successful signing in the sense
But
that he
that's
helped.
not the right example though, because I'm talking about the prime of
Big
those
up
players,
Calabi,
27,
man.
26, like Costa, all these guys.
Oh, okay,
And
got
they
you.
go.
Got
We
you.
also
All right,
signed
back.
them in that age where
He
they
was
were
such.
amazing, bro.
He was
But they
Say
want to
right
keep
back.
bringing up the Sterlings,
All right, check the
which is
back.
crazy to me. It's like, they pick and choose reasoning, bro. It's just
Any
dumb reasoning. That's why most of them work at fucking McDonald's, bro, because everything is just
any
ridiculous.
competent sporting director, because we didn't have one at the time we got Koulibaly, Sterling would have told you these guys are cooked. Don't bring them in.
Huh?
Now, I wonder what other transfers you hated from that window.
You know what I mean?
No, but okay, no. If you want to use the experience thing or proven thing, who's the best left back in the world that plays for Chelsea? That was proven because he was the best left back before we bought him. You don't want to use that argument to proven players.
Yep.
He was the best left back in the league when we bought him, and now he's the best left back in the world.
And Casado as well. Don't forget Casado, yeah, because he also
Casado
was,
another one, and that's why for me,
Yeah.
what annoys me is we don't look
Hugo
in-house in
will
terms
be
of this
part of
league.
the Club World Cup squad that's from Ben Jacobs.
Cool. What isn't annoying me is with like when we come to these wingers and stuff is there are options, and Daniel mentioned this earlier again. There are options in league which would work better and will cost you the same amount and are better than some of the guys we're looking at. You can't sit here and tell me that Semenyo and Wemo are not better than Gittens.
Oh, they're
Currently,
way better.
they're way better and will cost you the same.
They may be better, but the question you got to ask yourself is, do they have higher potential? That's what they're looking at, bro. That's the
Fuck the potential, brother. Fuck potential.
That's what they do.
It's not Football Manager. This is not Football Manager.
You can say that. You can all say that, but that's what they look at, bro. I'm just telling you what they do, bro. You can hate me.
Fuck the potential, man. Fuck the potential. Fuck the gamble.
Also, I never wanted Cucurella out. I was always on the Cucurella train. So don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Hold on. Potential.
Yo, just put him up front.
They give you 2 years, and if you're not good enough in 2 years, they sell you. They're not giving you time anyway. So what? The
That's a fair point. They don't even give you.
They don't give you two. They don't give you more. Your full contract. You're not here for 6 years. You're here for 2, and then they reevaluate to see what you're up for.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we just moved from the buying like high performance players and hoping they don't flop to buying high potential players and hoping they hit. You know.
I mean, it's this is Chelsea the business, not Chelsea the club that we're used to, where Roman was.
Exactly.
I mean, he was low key washing his money through this club, by the way. But that's just me.
Brother, they had to
For sure, he
But
was.
I mean,
Long
at the
may
same,
it
but
continue,
joke
man.
aside, joke aside, joke aside.
Also,
like,
can I kill
we're not
that
doing.
narrative? Can I kill that narrative? Chelsea under Roman had the biggest Nike deal in history, bro.
Bro,
When they in
it
the
was
Premier
a
League history when
joke.
signed under Chelsea, people are
That's
acting
why I
like
said
Chelsea under
joke
Roman was
aside.
this poor team. We were literally the fourth biggest franchise in football. Stop with this nonsense, bro. Like nobody knew who we
Yeah,
are until these
we were
guys
never
came.
broke.
No, it's not that
We
we
were
were
never a broke
always a
club.
brand, bro. But the difference is we were a brand based on success. Now we're a brand based
The
on
only comparison is that
prosperity,
recruitment
bro.
weren't great in the last couple years either.
Yeah.
But how is it working great for us now? We barely got top 4 and we finished 11th last season.
No. As in, like, that's the only argument that could have been made against it. And even then, like, we've been under 3 seasons now of clear late, so no one cares. I would have made that argument the first or second season when we had to do the rebuild. Like, we're 3 seasons in now. Now I don't care about what we were like at the end of the Roman era. Don't care.
And the year before Roman,
it's now your era.
We won the Champions League. However bad it was, however bad everything was, that's still what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're still.
Oh yeah. Don't get it twisted.
So-
Like that don't get taken away
Yeah,
either. Like you can bring up the negatives and also bring up the positives. You can do both. It's never just a sticking on one side thing.
Can you bring up T's last comment?
You want Chelsea to have the best players and be the biggest club in the world. Just because you buy the best doesn't mean you will be. Look at PSG.
I'm just going to point something out. Using
Vara is one of
PSG as the
best
litmus.
wingers,
Hang on.
though.
Using PSG as the litmus test after they bought the best winger in the world, arguably at the time in January, which completely turned their season around, is a stupid example. Because what I'm not even saying about an age thing or experience. Go and buy the best young players. Why don't you try and go and get Kvaratskhelia when he was available?
Hey man, experience is relative. Like Kavar is like 23, 24
Yeah, he's
and has
24,
hella
but why didn't you go and do
experience.
that? That's
He
what I'm
has
asking
hella
for.
experience
Why didn't you
at
buy
23, 24. So that you knock 2 birds out with 1 stone in that signing
why
with PSG.
why didn't you buy best in class in that position? Like, say for example, we're looking at centre back. Who's the best young centre back in the world? Whoever that is, try and buy him. If you can't, you go for the second best. Gittens is not top 5. If I'm just using him as an example, he's not top 5.
No.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I
that's
guess
why I don't
PSG,
want him.
that's what we want to do, right? They had like a stable young player base, and they just bought 2 statement signings in Dembele and Kvaratskhelia, and that's what we want, actually, I think.
I mean that's what I assumed. That's what we were going to be doing this
Yeah.
summer. But like
Yeah.
so far, that's not looking the case. Now, again, we still have to wait till the end of the summer. But that's why I said I'm just going to sit back and watch, and then that's going to tell me what we're going to be about this whole going forward as a club. So if I know that we're going to be on fuckery for the rest of the club, all right, cool. Then I know I can be reserved in how I view this club from here on out because I know we got some shitheads at the top that aren't going to really be about something. I'm cool. I got a beautiful life. I can go do something else. I don't like it's fine. So if I know that shit is going to happen, all right, cool. Fuck you. I can just go do something else.
And
But you
L1
still
as
on the
well, I
side.
agree for the most part, but it is not wrong to bring up how bad the recruitment was in the last 5
there was
years.
a couple of L
There's
seasons
nothing
like
wrong
that.
with that.
Was it 15, 16? Like you take Pedro, like Andrew Winter Service talked about this before. You take Pedro out of that, I think 15, 16 window. It's disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah,
that
that was a bad
window
window.
after we won the Champions League, disgraceful. Like he's not free from criticism from a recruitment, but it's mainly everything outside of recruitment. You literally cannot say anything to when it comes to Roman.
Yeah,
The
and
recruitment-
nobody would. That's the only thing that we bring up, and it's not wrong to do that. Like, why do we got to walk on eggshells?
Yeah, man.
I don't do no, nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong. Yeah, okay, cool. Like a 1 serious title race in like what 7 years? Okay. Come on, man. I want to do standards, but then ignore standards when it's a favorite. Like, brother, stop being selective with that bullshit. But yeah, still, bar all of that, shout out Roman every single time. I hope his name gets chanted at Chelsea as long as the club exists. Simple as that. Well, so that medical's already been done. What? Yeah, we already know about the release clause. Like, it's just people are still like
Yeah,
dodging.
Goalkeepers ain't coming to this club, man. Let's just keep it.
Nope.
Yeah. No, I said this before doing this. Osimhen and Gyökeres are not coming to this football club.
I'll be real. I don't think there's a single like surprise outside of maybe Leao. I think everyone else is someone we've already been linked with.
Yep. And I said Leao would only be linked to us because of Jorge Mendes needing a club to take him.
This club has a tendency and just a complete. I don't know how to like the right words, but they have an inability most of the time, outside of a select few, of like having a transfer with no smoke, if that makes sense. Like I said this in the group chat the other day of like most of the guys you look at we signed, there was a history of like there just being a lot of smoke around we're going to sign him. That's why like I think it's Ekitike and Delap we're going to sign. We're probably going to sign Gittens. We're probably going to sign Branthwaite because these are the guys we've got the most smoke around them when it comes to transfers. You might see one like unknown guy like we did with Palmer, we did with Neto. Outside that, it's like maybe Mudryk you'd include in that as well. Outside that, like Lavia, we were interested for a whole year. Caicedo was 6 months. Enzo, there was interest even before like the World Cup.
But we knew we had the interest, but didn't the news like come from nothing?
What with the Enzo thing?
Yeah, Enzo, like Caicedo, I think. Like the snatch from Liverpool for Caicedo,
I could be wrong, and please someone correct me if I'm wrong. I thought there was interest from Enzo, like we did the similar thing we did with Lavia, where there was interest like almost immediately after he went to River Plate, like within like a month or two of him being at Benfica. Sorry.
I mean, yeah, there was interest. Then we dropped it, I think, and then at the end of the transfer window, we just went in. But we are showing interest in Leao as well, you know, when maybe at the end of the window we suddenly just go all in for him. And we say this is the big statement, like Enzo, like Caicedo. You don't know. Like I think these owners are unpredictable and I don't mind it. I like the excitement and to like go around like the city and suddenly get a notification and hope it's actually like Osimhen or Leao. I don't mind it.
L1, you're too sensitive to hear any criticism about Roman. That's fair enough. I don't need to go around in circles. Big up. Big up, Sean saying, weren't we promised ambition once we got UCL? Yeah. Yeah, and shit, these are the options that we're looking at. So they better bring some serious, like, fucking progress for us next season. If they don't do it, they don't do it.
I have to ask this question, because...
Big up Jay as well, man. Big up.
Bro. Yo, bro. Is it good, yeah?
Yeah, we're all good. You said you had like you wanted to speak against like the whole like bringing statement signings and all of that.
I have, yeah. I don't want to call names because a lot of people that are on like YouTube and that are successful and staples of this community that I don't want to come for. I'm a good guy, I'm a nice guy. But the issue is I have a problem with some of these narratives that we're pushing right now. My thing is, why is it wrong for me to want to try the risk reward approach? What's the issue with that? If I look at Hugo Ekitike and Liam Delap as people that can hit the ground running, two people that have the profile that we need, why should I now go and look at a 60-plus GA striker simply because he scores goals? If we look at the profile of Gyökeres and the profile of Osimhen, they are two completely different strikers. Why don't we as fans look for a player up front who's supposed to lead the line that actually fits the mold of our team? We are looking for high-profile names. We haven't left the Roman Abramovich era mentally yet. We have not. And it's about time we do. We can appreciate the guy. Cool. As Lewis said, sing his name for the rest of the time. But guys, it's 2025. 5 years after this guy's already left. Let's get with the times a little bit, at least. And at least try and see what the pros and the cons are. It's either you're all for or all against. There is zero balance. There is zero balance. Yes, I agree with some of the criticism saying we need more experience in this team. Cool. Great. I get that. Valid. But when we see tossing, it's all not high enough bracket of quality though. Opportunistic signing, and tossing has proven to be important to us this season. I don't understand.
I mean, the thing is, to your thing, I think Delap is one of the players. 30 million is not a lot for some prospect, but Ekitike, he is like the amount of money we are gonna spend on him is like so much money we would spend on a statement signing that is actually proven, you know. That's way too much.
I hear it.
Maybe I
know
know
it's right.
he has a good. He fits the team. They think he's good, but I know for that amount of money, I see something else.
Yeah, it's
But
too much. Yes, it's too much. If you're gonna
Yeah.
spend 84 million on him, just go and get Gyökeres. Cool. If that is what the basis of your point is, 100%, there isn't much going behind that. But what I will say though is, guys, let's not like there has to be a reason why nobody's looking at this guy right now with any serious intent. There has to be. Like you can't score 60 plus goals or 60 plus GA and have nobody making pushes for you in this 10-day window.
It's a
For no
mixture.
reason.
For me, it's a mixture of age and like the other teams don't need him. So you look at who could potentially sign him in terms of like
the
big
lack of resale value.
I was just saying,
lack of resale
when I say
value.
age, it's because of the resale value, not because he's old. He's 27 for fuck's sake. You look at us. If he flops, he has no resale value. Arsenal, I think it's a case of Arteta doesn't want to have to deal with egos, so that's why. Like you saw how it went with Aubameyang, and I'm not saying that Gyökeres has a massive ego, but I would understand why he does, considering how he's playing. Arteta don't want to deal with that. Saw how it went with Aubameyang. They got in fights. He doesn't want that. He'll go for someone who's younger, who he can mold. Liverpool, I think Liverpool is a mixture of two things. Number one is they probably feel a little bit burned with the Nunez thing, even though Nunez didn't score goals like this. And Nunez is just a shit footballer. But also their team is different where they don't need a guy who gets that many goals. They just won the league because they have Salah. They don't. That's why Ekitike for them makes more sense. That's the guy who can facilitate Salah as well.
I see. Yeah, you're making sense.
And then you look at everyone else. Like I think everyone else mostly is the age thing. But then you look at Barca. They could get him. They don't give a shit about age. They don't need a striker. Bayern don't need a striker. Then you're looking at Man United and Juve are pretty much the only two teams currently, big teams, who like PSG don't need a striker. They just won the Champions League playing no number 9. They don't need one. They also would probably need to sell one of the two they've already got first. So and maybe even they probably need to sell one of the wingers they've got as well, or one of the other attackers. Otherwise, you're gonna have two of them on the bench. So you're looking at teams, big teams. There aren't that many big teams who are willing to overlook the age thing, or the resale value, I should say, and then also are needing a striker. Even with the amount of goals he scores, and no one's scoring goals like that in world football, and especially in that league. I went and had a look. No one is scoring goals like that.
I see.
So I think that's why. I don't think it's a case of he's not good enough, or there's question marks about the numbers. Because even the numbers, by the way, like I said, like I think we worked it out. Even if he gets like 30% of the numbers he's got, that's 18 goals. That's still good. That's still decent.
Big up Sheik in the chat.
Yeah.
Like I just think it's like the resale value, which I think is stupid. It's like I understand why teams do it and clubs do it. It's a business way of looking at it, but I just think it's stupid because the resale value, if he flops, cool, I get that. But if he doesn't flop, then you end up winning shit and you get more money that way. And to me, it just the logic doesn't understand.
He is right. I don't think it's that alone.
I think because they want to get both. They want to be able to win the trophies and have the resale value on top, and then maybe have it double or triple with the experience of winning that.
Yeah, and every
then
like
they're
maybe
proven talents.
No,
yeah,
I
and
understand
every
that
decade you have a clear out and go again.
That's the way our owners. That's the way they operate. They buy, like, if you look at what they've done beforehand, they buy businesses, grow them, and in 2-3 years sell them for like massive amounts. That's literally what they do to make money. So I understand why that's their business plan, because that's what they do in business. They'll get businesses, smaller businesses, build them up, and sell them for massive profits.
Okay,
So
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. I have to go. Thank you, Louis, for the invite.
Brussels, bless
See you
for
guys.
jumping on. You're always welcome on in future, man.
Thanks, man. See you guys.
Bless, bro. Have a good day.
I would prefer us to, you know what? Let's just go chase Gyökeres for once at least. Like, what could go wrong next season? We need another striker.
I also would argue. By the way, I would also argue taking the resale,
and I don't really care if we do either. To be honest,
taking the resale out of it. By the way, I think Ekitike is the bigger risk than Gyökeres based on price and based on everything else.
I think Ekitike is a better fit for our team than Gyökeres is. We want to give him
the worst player. He's going to cost you more money in terms of actual amount.
I disagree. I think Gyökeres is a better fit than Ekitike.
I'll be honest. I don't know if Daniel's here to reiterate this point, so I'm gonna just make the point for him what he said earlier. There comes a point where, and he's made this point in the past, I don't give a shit about fit if you're just not good enough, or if you're like, at some point you have to take this idea of fit out of it if they're just a good player and they're going to improve your team like massively. Because we keep doing this fit thing of like, we've had players like,
that's where football is though.
No, it's not though. Hazard didn't fit Sarri's system. He didn't.
That's not where football is right now. Where Hazard was in
it's
the
not.
landscape of
No, it's
football, when
not.
Hazard was around, it's not what football is now. It's not what football is now. Football has become a far more tactical game. It's a far more tactical game right now. You think about how many teams. That's the whole reason why Luis Enrique didn't feel a way about getting rid of the Galacticos. That's the exact reason why.
That's because
It's been
that's
becoming
because
robotic for years now. Ever since
no,
Pep.
but you're talking about like players not fitting together. I'm not talking about like that in terms of loads of players fitting together, because like you're never going to win something of what's it called? Like you're never going to win something having like Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe together. That just doesn't. You cannot unless you're going to have the rest of the team built that way, and they just couldn't, and they weren't going to. You couldn't win anything like that. And it was the same. Like Mbappe had to leave for them to get better, but there are like you look at City's system at the moment. City are playing the same system they did last season. The reason they're doing worse is because the players are worse. They have players that fit that system. Like Doku fits that system. Savić fits that system. The other guys they have fit that system. They're worse though. They've got worse players than when they did previously. Like they stink. They absolutely stink. So now they're trying to get your Reinders. They're trying to get Nuri, who doesn't really fit the system they're playing at the moment because he doesn't. Unless they're going to change how they use the fullbacks, he doesn't underlap. So and he doesn't invert. So are they changing the system? Because they're just getting better players now. They're getting Reinders, Cherky, they're getting Nuri. They're linked with Gibbs White. These are just better players than what they have currently.
Yeah, and I think, but then, okay, hear that though. Hear this right. I'm pretty sure there's a more higher profile, higher waged, or more proven, or a better metric player that you can find than Reinders or Nuri in the world right now that's available. But the reason why Man City would go for those two is because they know those are two players that Pep can utilize to the best of his ability. That's what Pep wants. That's why for me right now, I'm not saying a fit thing because I want this perfect box striker or box aerial threat. In that case, I would just go for Osimhen. But I'm thinking about what's realistic for my club right now. And the reason why I say that is because you look at Gyökeres, and I don't think it's just because of the reasons that you stated earlier, Scott. I also think it's because of the whole concept of, just like Haaland, you look at a release clause of 60-something million and think, oh, it's rosy. £60 million, just dash it on the table. Agent fees probably make this guy more expensive than Ekitike and things like that, right? There has to be a problem in the outlay of that release clause that Chelsea just aren't willing to go into an argument with Sporting if they're not willing to budge. So if I'm looking at my club saying, for what's available, for what makes financial sense, Hugo Ekitike and Delap to me are two bangs at a striker. If one doesn't work, sod off the other. I just wouldn't pay that much money for Ekitike, personally.
So
other than that,
that's the only reason why I'm like, just no. I think 84 million is a bit much for me, but
it's too steep. Yeah, it's way
I do
too
think
steep.
he's a good player at least, and like the ceiling is there. It's obvious.
Exactly. But other than that, I'm hearing this disrespect on the lad's name as well, man. I'm sorry. I cannot stand for it. Yeah. Talking about 20%, doing the numbers, Kai's run up the numbers. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'll be real. If you can pump out 12 GA in an Ipswich team, I am willing to take a punt on you. They are god awful, bro. I was hearing all the prop care McKenna was getting. If you can be a one-man team and score 25 to 30% of your team's goals in a season, in that level of a team who isn't performing, I'm willing to take a punt on you. Especially when you are miles, you prove it to be miles better than Jackson in that team.
When has that ever been the standard for a top striker?
I was going to say like that. I can see both sides because I do like Delap, but what I will say is, and the argument I've used before is, Carlton Morris scored 11 goals for Luton the season they came up.
And then to be fair, you're saying since when has that been the barometer for a striker? That was the barometer for Isak, and we all ate it up. So give it a break, man. Please give it a break.
For Isak. Isak went
was
to
the barometer because Isak didn't do anything more impressive.
He went to Newcastle
in the Liga,
and everybody else didn't buy and sign him because he was already at top clubs.
And he proved very quickly you can't make those judgments.
You know what like people are looking at the exceptions and saying, "Yo, well, this is the path this player is going to take." A lot of players do not take the path of Isak. That's not standard for top strikers. It's just not.
Okay, and that's a fair thing to say, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but it doesn't have to be one way or the highway. Because imagine Newcastle took that approach and said, well, because Isak isn't the rule and he could be the exception, we are not going to take a punt.
You sound like
What
you're
does that do
happy
for you?
with the bare minimum players, though.
It's not bare minimum.
Listen, they're still taking punts right now because I guess that's what stage they are, and that's why they're oscillating between top four or not. That's where they keep oscillating, right? Because they're still taking punts.
It's like you're just happy with.
You solidify yourself as
It's not oscillating for though, because you went from 3/4 of a season last season after on behalf of a literal terrorist in Pochettino.
Yeah.
So it's not oscillating if we made a clear seasonal improvement from last season to this season, in my eyes at least. And that came from the players that we took the punt on in terms of Cucurella and Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez stepping up and proving that they were intelligent punts to make. In my eyes, from the players that we all had the same view on as we've had on Delap and Ekitike right now, that being Caicedo and Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez and Cole Palmer, have all come forth and shown they were reasonable punts to make. So I don't think I'm not crazy to believe someone.
The Cucurella and the Caicedo aren't really the same because, like, you're talking about two players in their respective positions who were like arguably two of the best in the league when we bought them. But the other two I hear a bit more.
I didn't hear this. I did not hear this rhetoric when we bought Caicedo. I heard about Brighton.
No. Caicedo 22-23 was one of the best in the league.
Yeah,
I hear this though, but the fans weren't saying this. It was
Liverpool, Arsenal, wanted him sometimes.
Yeah, they were saying it. And people can say what they want about Cucurella about he got booed. I'm not talking about the season he was here. Like, this guy was the best left back in the league the year before we bought him for Brighton. He was the best left back in the league, playing both centre back and wing back. He was the best left-sided defender. So I don't care about he was shit for a year, he got booed, this, that, and the other. Like, he was still that level before we bought him.
I hear this. But the clear narrative that I was hearing
more for that because like Man City pulled out because they only
that's the only reason why we got cooked, by the way, is because Man City pulled out. If Man City don't pull out, we don't.
And Chelsea fans in and amongst ourselves were saying that we overpaid and we only accepted this deal because Pep was involved and Pep wanted him. Because we want to be Brighton so much.
Won the UCL.
Like, I don't know. For me, I don't get that. Because when we made that Cucurella signing, it was overpaid sayings. It was only because Pep wants him, we accepted it. I don't understand how the narrative changed now. And hindsight is beautiful. But the issue is now, why can't we at least see?
I swear no one ever said that we overpaid.
Was that you know what we need to get to the next stage of challenging for a league title. That's clear. So if they're saying, "Oh well, I'll take these punts," some people want to take the punt, and some don't.
And that's true. I'm saying people are entitled to their opinion, and that's why I'll never come to somebody and tell somebody, "Oh, you want Joao Felix and you're silly for wanting him." But it seems like
people are wrong for feeling like I don't want to take a punt because I know exactly like they've done. I've said this time and time again. In terms of the brackets of players, right? If it's a youth prospect, a young youth prospect, they've done great in getting great talent. If it's that middle ground of players where it's like, oh yeah, this is a guy who can become a world-class player, they've done great in getting those kind of players. Where they've failed to me categorically is that upper echelon, that middle ground, experienced top player. No player they've gotten fits that fucking mold.
Fair enough. For me, at least,
every other scenario, and then because you don't hit at this scenario, you stop trying at it and you just give up and say, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna try and get more young players." And
oh no,
that's going to be good. But
okay. Maybe in that sense, I need to clarify myself a little bit more. I'm not saying we don't need to buy a single player of experience and quality, right? For me personally, if you're asking me who I go and get right now, I'd prioritize going looking at Bastoni. Go and hit Inter Milan when they're down and give me a top centre back, right? Of course, I want to have experience and quality on the pitch, but I feel like we are over sensationalizing the idea of having a top proven striker.
I don't think
go and get me a Barella, go and get me Bastoni, go and get me like there's other parts of the spine that could deal with this sort of massive increase in experience and quality than a striker. I don't think the striker's like, we're going to get Nico Williams instead.
Is needed. That experience at the back, which is needed, is not going to translate to your forward line. It's just not like everybody. Like the most experienced guy on your forward line at that point is going to be Hugh Jackson or Sancho.
Yeah, but that's okay. Hear this. That's premised on the concept that we don't go and buy either one of the two of Ekitike or Gyökeres, or maybe even Osman if that's still on the table, and we don't go and get a top winger. That's premised off of that. If we do and we get a Bastoni, I don't really think that looking at Gyökeres is that deep anymore.
Well, listen, I personally don't care.
I just think it's more of a dream for people than anything else.
I don't care what we get in any of these guys if they're sure they're going to bank. If we're trying to go for a league title or not be in the same position we were, because we made top 4 in the last day. If we don't want the exact same spot next year, or we want to kind of improve to a point where we're not worried about it, what will be to get top players right now. But if you want to get Ekitike and we think Delap is going to be able to score or produce for us a lot more than Jackson has, cool.
I strongly believe in that person.
I just want to see it.
I'm strongly willing to take that with Ekitike. Strongly.
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you as well? Like, what do you want next season?
What? You're asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is exactly okay. I'll tell you exactly what I want next season. The league is my heart wants that, but my mind tells me that I want to take a strong punt at the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and an outside chance of the Champions League. Right? Those are the 3 things. And the only reason why I'm not ruling out the Premier League, but when I think about where other teams are already right now, and the additions they're going to make, it'd be hard for us to make that and some and gain. So right now, as I'm looking to see what a Delap becomes and what Ekitike becomes, and maybe I want to get a Joao Hato or a Zabani from Bournemouth, I'm looking at certain profiles to fit around this team that I think can turn into amazing players. And in the meantime, go and attack those cup competitions. That's what I want. I want one of those 3 at the bare minimum. That's what I'm looking at. And top 4
see, that's the problem.
Maybe even higher than that.
That's where the problem lies. Because you said you want a bare minimum. That's the problem lies. Because I think that we're gonna go for that league, challenging that league route. We should get the top of the top out there.
Yeah. Okay. I hear your opinion. I'm not saying that that's what I like. That's the lowest. I probably wouldn't be stoked about that. I want more than that. Obviously, that's what we all should be aiming for. But in my opinion, I believe if we had somebody with more of a natural striker's instinct in terms of positioning, in terms of consistency on the ball, that I do believe a Delap would bring and Ekitike would bring in spades, we would have stayed up there this season a lot longer than we did. And I'm talking about those 2 in their current form. I'm not talking about what they could be. That's why I'm so happy to hear that they're even linked with this club, because of how far of the mark Jackson has been. Jackson isn't, just like we're saying, the whole progression of Isak isn't the exception. It isn't the rule. It's the exception. It's the exception that a striker can be as bad as Jackson has been this season for Chelsea.
No, it's not. We had Havertz.
In terms of
we had Havertz.
To be fair, that's another one. Lord of mercy.
Yeah, nothing's worse than that.
By the way, can I go I agree with you, by the way. Just on the point, by the way, you said about like positioning and everything and how they're playing at the moment. I agree with you on Delap. I don't agree with you on Ekitike. Ekitike is just as when it comes to clinicality, he's worse than Jackson was last year, this season.
Okay, fair enough. I take your word for it. If that's the case, then Lord, I wasn't looking at what I'm supposed to be looking at.
I don't mind Jackson's profile. I really don't care. Jackson's problem is that
the guy can't score a ball. I don't care about what you can do on it.
That's the issue.
That's my point. My point is I don't have a problem with him dropping deep and spinning and whatever bullshit.
But if you can't shoot, I don't want you.
Hold on. And his limitations in terms of him like not being able to make runs, he still missed 19 big chances last year. That's why I'm going. If you give me the exact same player as Jackson, but was clinical, I'll be cool with it. So the profile, I don't care about that. I just care about you being good.
By the way,
the laps profile. People are just his profile.
The biggest underperformance next year.
From halfway line and making runs with this Chelsea team. We don't play like that.
Yeah. No. I said Ekitike.
It's not 1v3 center backs. Like that's the way he plays. That's not going to happen at Chelsea. So he has to adapt as well. If he's good enough gets his chances, he can score because he's gonna get chances. Even Werner got chances. Chelsea strikers have missed the most big chances in this league for like the last 4 years.
Yeah.
It's been like, no, that's been the case. Every year, the Chelsea striker up there missing big chances, time and time over. If that's the case, whoever comes in, they're gonna get the fucking chance. So
I hear it.
Goals. Your profile don't matter to me. Because whatever profile you got in from Werner to this guy to that guy, they all get the exact same amount of chances and they fuck it up.
I hear it. No, I can't lie. And that's what I'll say. Of course, like everything can be right at the same time. And that's what I'll say. The reason why I came in here quite frustrated with some of the opinions I was hearing wasn't more so because I believe that people that want Gyökeres and Osimhen and nothing less are wrong for wanting that. I'm more so confused as to why those people believe that's the only way we can go. I just don't understand why that's not the only way a club can go. Like there is a scenario where Ekitike and Delap come here, and at the bare minimum, one of them bags 15 goals in the league. I'm genuinely that confident in at least one of them. Like one of them has to bang. If we have two strikers,
hang on. How many did you say bang? What bangs? How many?
At least 15 goals in the league. 15.
They need to get more than that. I'm expecting either one of those two has to hit 20 goals, 18 to 20 minimum next season.
Okay, and I probably would say that's when I would start saying, yeah, but I don't think that's impossible either. I think that's far from impossible.
No, they have to. We just got Jackson on. We just finished with Jackson last season getting 14 league goals. We're getting these guys on the basis and the premise.
No, I think he ended on 10 this year.
You know, he ended on 10 this year. But I'm looking at Lewis. What I'm doing is I'm looking at their best, right? So yes, Jackson was this year was horrible. Last season he got 14 league goals. So I'm saying if we're getting better than that, because we know that strikers and players, especially young players, have a down year. This could be a down year for Jackson. Now, at the end of the day, if he goes, he goes. If these guys are better, cool. If they're better, I need better production and much better production. So I'm expecting 18 to 20 in the league minimum. Same with Gittens, by the way. If we're getting rid of Noni or Sancho and replacing him with Gittens, I'm expecting much better in terms of production, in terms of performances. I don't care their age.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
It's not much better. Sideways move. And what was the point? You wasted money. You spent money on nothing.
Yeah, I agree on that. I agree on that because I was looking at Gittens and I was thinking back and rewatching the games I watched of them in the Champions League campaign of last season. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, Gittens is good and all. He's nice. But I think we're buying him more so on experience and saying, oh, he's young and he's played games in Champions League. So this will make the fans happy. When I don't think he's that effective. He does take a lot more shots than maybe a Sancho would on the left. But if we're sacrificing Noni for that, it's more, I think that's more of a balance than a gain. That's the only thing where I'm like, are we actually gaining on him?
On the Gittens thing, I didn't even... Lewis, you'd seen, I don't know if anyone else has seen his, like, you know that guy that posts the last 20 shots that a player has?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Did you see the Gittens one? Brother, I already know this guy's going to come in and he's going to frustrate the shit out of fans like Noni did. Go and look at some of the shots he's taking in that Dortmund team, based on his last 40 shots. Brother, they're like, he's just taking shots to shoot. He's literally doing the same thing Noni does. He just takes shots to shoot. There's no rhyme or reason behind it.
Like, coming to Chelsea just magically, it's just going to change that. I don't.
It's giving Pulisic. I love him though.
No. Don't do that to Pulisic, bro. Don't do that to Pulisic. I don't even think it's Pulisic.
He was the edge of the box merchant, bro. Like Pulisic,
he was, but don't do that to Pulisic. Pulisic was actually like good at taking shots most of the time.
Yeah.
This guy ain't even that. Like he's just hitting shots from just hitting shots. Like he's got defenders ahead of him. And he's just hitting shots, just at them, just shooting at them.
I think Gittens is a bit more unpredictable in the way that he dribbles. Like I could look at.
His dribbling from what I've seen,
100 attempts.
That doesn't worry me. His dribbling is good. I have no worries about that.
So in that case, in my opinion as well, the only reason why I'd rather go for rather than the Gittens, but if I was to look for an upside in Gittens, I'm thinking he will provide us with a bit more unpredictability on both sides. If we have a Neto and tell him, come on now, enough crossing, take some more shots. We have people that are willing to take a shots from every position. And that for me, in a sense, and I'm not trying to compare the quality or the level or the performance of any of these players with the people I'm about to mention, but you would look at the current state of Arsenal's attack, even with the Sesko, and you look at ours, there are more people willing to take a risk and shoot at goal than their front line. And for me, that is a positive thing. And I would like to see where that goes. That's just me. Maybe I have low standards and I need to look at more proven things and look for more proven metrics, and that's fair. I hear it. And I'm not saying you're wrong for that. But for me, at least, I'm looking at what the positives of these players are and how that fits in to the overall dynamic of the team that I support. And I think that each player we've been linked to a certain extent, brings something that benefits us going at goal. At least something. Like they bring something that I think is vital as well. We don't have that goal attacker on the left-hand side. We don't. Like, we don't have that. Like, I can't lie. I don't even want Mudryk at this club, period. Although I want to give him a punt. Personally, he was never really the level, and we've seen that. But at least we saw how much his directness was missed. And we can all agree that from what Mudryk put on the table in front of us and what Gittens has shown us, he's a more effective goal scorer than Mudryk.
I
Sorry
think
to burst your bubble.
Nah, be more effective than Mudryk is not the. That's not the.
I hear it.
That's absolutely a terrible
But
bar.
ceiling-
Mudryk is the most winger we've signed at this club in 20 years.
I'm not saying because he's performed better, he's going like that's enough. What I'm saying is that's a better baseline. That's a better baseline, and I'm looking at the ceiling of the Gittens, and it's a lot. In my opinion, it's higher than Mudryk's.
You're still seeing it as like a baseline, right? Like, you're still seeing it as like whoever player comes in, as long as they hit the certain baseline that I can build up from, this is what this is. That's a gamble.
Yeah. That's cool. That's what premise is what I was trying to get across, really.
I don't know, man. I just don't
You want to
like
gamble on all three positions that you want to sign in this summer. You want to gamble on all three.
I also think you can have a baseline. I think people's baseline needs to be like better. Like, so for example, someone asked me, would you prefer Gittens over Garnacho? Yes, Garnacho is not the baseline. Garnacho is not the level here, the bar. Like, that's worst case scenario is Garnacho. That's literally bottom of the barrel, worst case scenario. Getting Garnacho is worse than getting no one. Getting Garnacho is worse than getting no one. That's the worst case scenario.
You're
That's not
absolutely
the
right.
baseline. Same with I agree with what Danny said. Like, Mudryk is not the baseline to set here. The baseline is this guy better than the wingers we've got in terms of how Noni and Sancho played last season? If he's better than that, okay, that's a starting baseline you can work with. Might not be a great baseline. It's a starting baseline you can work with. Mudryk is the worst winger we had. Mudryk is the worst winger we had at the football club.
Yeah,
he's not the baseline.
Yeah. I don't think he's better than Noni though, but I was talking about more so on that side of the pitch, right? Because for a large majority of the time that Noni's been at this club, we consider him a right winger, right? So that's what I'm saying. If I look at him and I say, if we're gonna get rid of him, and we're gonna put this guy on the left, right? Maybe even send back Sancho, which I think we're gonna do. The more time that we don't hear concrete updates on the Sancho guy, I think he's going back. You look at, okay, who do we replace Sancho for Bernard Gittens? In my opinion, I would prefer Bernard Gittens. And you're saying, whoa, wow, whoa, but Sancho can shoot. Yeah, Sancho can shoot, and I love the way that he keeps it ticking. I like Sancho. But for me personally, I want somebody who, when I pair him up with an Esteval on the right or another attacker on the right, Neto on the right, defenders have to think about both sides. When you have Sancho on the left-hand side and you have a Neto on the right, the defenders are only ever thinking about that side that Neto's on. They're not thinking about Sancho because Sancho is doing the save pass and keeping it moving, which is fair. But for me, with the way that I feel like our attack can move best, we need intent across all three positions. And I think Gittens brings that intent relentlessly in games, in my opinion. I think he can be that sort of annoying bugger that can get you a goal every other game, maybe every 2 games at least. I think he could be that sort of a nuisance where when you pair him up with who we have in our front line, he can produce. I think there's a possibility. I don't know. Personally, would I go for him first choice? No. But if we get him, would I cry? No.
Who's this?
Gittens.
Oh, Gittens.
I wouldn't cry.
I just give him
my
an
first
opportunity
choice.
to cook. That's my same thing with most of them.
Yeah, like, it's just not my first choice. Just like Cole Palmer wasn't my first choice. Just like Cucurella wasn't my first choice. Really.
Yeah, and we let him cook.
We let players cook. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's entitled to have their notions from the get-go.
Yeah,
Fair
let
enough. I'm
Palmer
not saying
cook.
anybody else saying.
That's a different. Like, Palmer cooked immediately the moment he came to Chelsea.
But
After last season,
I'm also of the idea, and just maybe this is just me, of not using the exception and the anomaly as the rule.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm just not about it. Palmer being the only one so far in terms of these young guys that we knew nothing about, that we didn't really want to cook. Like, he's basically the only one. Like, you can't say Caicedo, he was known in this league. Kukurea, no. I don't even think Enzo. Like, people knew about him. You could say, oh, it's World Cup tax. We knew about him. There was a level of expectation when it came to him. With Palmer, there was no expectation. There was no expectation. People didn't want him here. People didn't think he was going to be any good. Is he the only one I think we've bought that is cooked to that level?
I
think he might be. I don't think none of the midfielders, even Lavia, people knew.
When it comes to,
he's the exception to the rule. Most of these guys we've bought that have been this level have either gone out on loan and then been sold, or have done nothing in the 2-3 years.
But then, in that sense, then could I ask you this question? Does Gittens' experience and goals and performances he's put in, man of the matches in the Champions League, does that not amount to something then?
No, because that is man of the match in the Champions League. No, in terms of man of the match in the Champions League, no, because people use the same argument for Mudryk because he got clapped off against Real Madrid, and that doesn't happen for everyone. Cool, didn't mean fuck all when he played in the Premier League.
Yeah, but that's looking at it in the grand picture of things, though. That's looking at it with him being from the Ukrainian league, given the professional.
People said at the time like that was one of the things. Oh, he must be good because Real Madrid don't clap players off, and he had that performance against Real Madrid. Oh, we didn't do shit.
Contextual, though. That's highly contextual because he had about a year.
He had a great game against. He had a great game against Real Madrid, similar to Gittens.
Yes,
and people tried to use that to defend as to why he was going to be good and how it was going to work. He was just a shit player, so I'm not really using that point. The rest of it, maybe, like, I do think he has had a couple. What is good about him is he has had a couple of years playing in football.
Yeah,
like
100% appearances. Yes, and that is good. I mean, look at that all. Okay, when you look at that all as a whole, it makes those Champions League fixtures, in my opinion, hold more weight than Mudryk's. Because you can't, like, for me to look at somebody who's had 1 year and again, for instance, and this is where I'm saying I'm not trying to defend all of this club's risk taking. Absolutely not. Right. But what I would say is when I look at a player like Gittens, right, or like Mudryk, right, people looking at somebody, literally Jackson, matter of fact, the best case on point, Nicholas Jackson. We looked at somebody who played 9 games at the end of the season as a number 9. No credentials anywhere else, probably like a year in professional top flight or 2 prior. And we made a punt on that. But I know Gittens is a completely different context. This is a completely different player we're looking at. He has the experience and the potential that we all say that's the only way we're going to accept a young player. He's played a lot of games and he has a high ceiling. I don't understand how he is still somehow not meeting our criteria.
I think it's just, again, a lot of people's criteria has the proven tag on it.
Yeah, that proven tag. I'm sorry, man. That proven tag.
Proven tag or excellence, right? Or excellence. 8 goals and 3 assists in the Bundesliga is not like excellence. It's good. Yeah. It's good for like a 20-year-old. But that's not.
It's not even just that. It's, bro, like, I spoke to Jez, who's a Dortmund fan, earlier. I literally said to him, I didn't give him any prompt. I said, tell me about Gittens, because I'm hearing a lot of mixed things. I said, tell me about Gittens. What he told me about Gittens doesn't move me. He said, there are a few red flags. Number 1, decision making is terrible, especially when it comes to shot choice. Absolutely awful. Second thing was, in terms of pressing and defending, not there. Third thing was attitude, especially on the pitch. Fuck the off the pitch stuff, because I know he wants to leave. Attitude on the pitch. If things aren't going his way, he tends to drop his shoulders, tends to start having issues on the pitch. That's a red flag. We just came off a season where Cole had the same issue, where Madueke kept getting those same things. Sancho got that same stick for that. Like, Jackson got the same stick for that. That's a massive red flag for me.
In that case,
how have I become a clear late cuck again, bruv? They're literally on my fucking intro, bruv. We even added Bowley to it.
Nah, I can't lie, man. These guys just don't watch you. They don't watch you. They don't watch you, man. I can't lie. They're just in the man.
Just right? Hold on, Scott. I think we can all understand that when it comes to like the Cobham youth. You don't look at Rich James and say, well, damn, Rich James worked and he's world class, or everybody who comes from no one looks at that because it doesn't make sense. The exception doesn't make the rule. You have to look at every single player on an individual basis. Nobody was against Olise, who was 21, coming into Chelsea last year. I wasn't. I wasn't even willing to pay him the 230K. I was cool.
But then, in my eyes, right? Wouldn't we look at a Brian Mbeumo with a somewhat of a similar eyes to a Liam Delap then, in the sense of, yeah, you've played in the league, but are you the level that we want? Right.
No, Mbeumo's done it on multiple. No, there's a difference. There's a couple of differences. Number one is
19 goals is excellent, right? 8 goals in like the Bundesliga for Dortmund, that's cool. 19 goals in the Premier League for Brentford, that's excellent. That's not the same.
I was gonna say there's also a couple of with Mbeumo. There's a couple of things. Number one, it's multiple seasons of production, next to multiple different players as well. Okay. The second thing is, the numbers in terms of that production is just much better than Delap. The third thing is another thing I just mentioned in terms of he's shown, like he came up, was playing on the wing in the Championship, system changed, he went to a 2-striker formation and he still thrived. Then he lost his strike partner, who everyone said was one of, at the time, the best strikers in the league in terms of what he was doing, didn't skip a beat, became the main guy. Next to a guy who also isn't really a striker, is kind of a forward winger kind of type. Again, in the front two. They also, again, sometimes played with Damsgaard in the front. Like, he's playing with different guys every week, outside of like in terms of season on season, actually, not every week, but season on season, still putting up those numbers. And it's 25. Like, if Delap had done what he's done, and again, this is from someone who has come around on Delap, because I think it scales up. If Delap had a couple of years of doing what he's doing and putting up that 15 kind of goals number, then I think the discourse around Delap is different. The reason why I think the discourse around Delap specifically is what it is because he got 12 goals for an Ipswich team. And like I said earlier, you can use other players. Rodrigo, who was a striker 10, whatever he was, got 13 goals in the league for Leeds the season they got relegated. No one was interested in him. That don't mean much to me. He went to go and play in Qatar. Carlton Morris got 1 less goal than him last season playing for Luton. So I can understand, as much as I do like Delap, understand the apprehension is there, because there isn't much to go off. You've got 1 season of him doing for Ipswich. There's nothing to tell you it can scale up. I think it will, but there's nothing to really tell you it can. Outside of his XG was bang on what he.
I hear it. I hear it. I hear it.
Scott, that's okay if you're taking that risk, right? I've chosen Delap. You know, I'm probably even going to get Ekitike. So both my strikers are going to be really young guys and blah blah blah. Right? Why is the punt then again Bino Gittens instead of, like you said, going for someone like an Mbeumo, who you know in the Premier League, 15 plus goals off the wing as second striker, blah blah blah, has done it in this league twice in a row.
No, I agree with you on that. Like, personally, if I had the choice, I felt like I wouldn't even really breathe on Gittens if a Brian Mbeumo is available, which he's proven to be, because you might not have been in contact with him.
Daniel, that's another thing, by the way. Sorry, a point I wanted to make, and this comes back to the hypocrisy thing that, like, when I talked about people were saying, "Oh, wait until we get Champions League and our targets will change," they didn't, and they're moving the goalposts. There were people that said, if we're getting a Delap or an Ekitike, because I was of this mindset, I know Sinak was, and these people agreed with me. There were people that when I and others said, okay, you can get a Delap and Ekitike, but you have to then go and get a bad boy left winger or go and get a proven left winger. They went, yeah, I agree. But now we're not getting a bad boy left winger. They're going, why are you complaining? Just see how it plays out. Just let it happen. But Gittens is a good player. Well, hang on, you weren't saying this a month ago or 2 weeks ago when we were saying, but you need to go and get a bad boy left winger because you were going to get the experimental striker. Yeah. You're just changing it because you don't want to criticize. Like, you're just changing and moving the goalpost because you're scared to criticize. That's all it is. You're just to criticize.
If Gittens had 20 goals, right? If he had 15 goals last year and 20 goals this year, and that's who we're signing, I'll still be skeptical. Like, damn, can he really? He's young, but I'll be very, very kind of excited to see what he does. 8 goals in 32 games is not impressive. That's Noni Madueke numbers.
In my opinion,
all of this, all that is cool, but like, even a guy like Esteval that we're kind of looking at, like, he just wasn't. It wasn't like he left the Brazilian league in his first year with one goal and 5 assists, and all we're going by is, guys, just watch him, use your eyes. No, he destroyed the league as well. The stat, the numbers,
yeah, and he's won cups. Like he's won things.
It's not even just these one things, bro. He was the assist leader and the 3rd top goal scorer in that league at 17.
Yeah. and he smashed Neymar's whole record to smithereens and some. And do you know what? Do you know what I'd say? Right, as it goes for the striker, yeah, I think for me at least, the only thing was that was my biggest gripe with the proven tag, like the proven thing approach, is that I think people that want the proven tag need to start looking deeper into these proven players that they're looking for. Because for me, when I look at Gyökeres in particular, I get Lukaku flashbacks. I do. And I don't want another player to come in that's financially crippling for us to look at and say, oh gosh, how do we move him on now? When I look at Osimhen in example, in comparison, I think Osimhen of that, which they're quite similar risks, I think he is more of a worthy risk in the purely off of what type of player he is. We want a instinctive finisher and a aerial box threat as well as a ground. He can cover all of them bases. If I'm gonna get another striker on top of Delap, it's him or get me somebody else that isn't too unknown.
No,
For me, it's Osimhen or somebody else.
The other issue I have with just the Gittens thing as well, and I know this got brought up earlier, I just want to reiterate, is this: we have shown with the Noni stuff and with other and the Jackson stuff, if these guys don't improve to a level that is acceptable for these owners and these sporting directors, they will be sold in 2 years. We've got Gwenda coming next season. If Gittens does not hit next season, he's basically
out.
He's finished. He has to hit next season. So it doesn't matter the young thing. You have to be, whoever we get, you have to be ready to perform to a level that is top 4 minimum, hopefully better for this club next season. Because if you don't, you're at best a bench player, a squad player. Because let's be honest, Gwenda probably comes in and gets starts.
And benches Gittens. He does.
Or worst case scenario is you get fucked off and you leave in a summer, a year or two. So it's like,
I say,
if you're taking that risk, this goes back to the risk thing. If you're taking that risk, why would I take that risk with a 20-year-old who has had 1 year of 8 goals and then got benched because he didn't fit what the manager wanted to do? Or am I going to go and do that for a 25-year-old who has shown in this league?
Last point, so I'll wrap up in a sec.
Like 20 goals across a couple of seasons. Like, it's just about, because every transfer risk is about what risks are the right risks. Because you're playing it's not like we're willing to give these guys 3-4 years to get to their level. They have to show it immediately, otherwise they're fucked off in 2 years.
Okay. But in that one last thing I want to pose to you, right? Just to think about.
Deadline tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Would we be open to the concept? And I know we don't want too many young people leading the line at our club, and I personally wouldn't prefer that. But would you more so prefer, and this is in this scenario, which isn't the most likely one, but in this scenario, would you prefer Bino Gittens being a squad player if Gwenda comes in and just fits right and starts banging immediately? I'd rather Sancho. If Gwenda comes in and benches him and does his thing.
No, I'd rather Sancho outside the wage thing. Because I think the wage would be. I'd rather Sancho because I've said this before. You can't have, in my mind, you can't have multiple players in multiple positions who are in the same age bracket. Basically, that's stupid because you all of them. And Daniel's made this point before. Like our strikers next season, I keep hearing this, oh, they're going to rotate. No, they're not. The only reason that strikers rotate in teams, especially top teams, is if they're not in form. If Ekitike or Delap are in form, the other one's playing the cup game 30 minutes a game, 20 minutes a game. So these strikers, these guys, it's the reason why I think you go normally. Typically, teams go one experienced, one young, because then you still give the young guy minutes where you can. Or if he's the starter, the old guy, especially if he's like in his 30s or like early 30s, late 20s, then there's less incentive for them to, or not less incentive, but they're okay or more okay with getting less minutes, if that makes sense. Like Giroud, for example, it worked with Giroud because he was okay being a bench option and being a super sub. Like we're gonna have 2 22-year-old strikers, which is cool. That is what it is, right? They're gonna need the same level of playtime to develop to the level we think they're gonna get to, which they're not going to get. Or if they do get, again, I don't really think it works rotating your strikers week in, week out. Maybe that's just me, but I don't think that works personally. Same with the wingers. If you've got a winger, like Gwenda, for example, if Gwenda's performing every week, Gittens is getting cup games and like 20 minutes a game. That is not enough for him to develop. Yeah, that's not enough. So that's why for me it doesn't make sense having 2 guys basically a year or 2 apart from each other in terms of age. In the
just commit to one of them, either Gwenda or just fucking Wait, David Ornstein and Buemo Society wants to join United and now expected to open talks with Brentford
Oh.
bid to sign.
Fucking hell. Look, you want
Ornstein
Buemo, man. I do want him. I do
What?
want him. Man.
That's by the way. That's
Oh, you
say what you
want
want about the rest of the team.
It's literally-
They've just
And
say what you
Buemo
want
has
about the
picked
manager.
United.
By the way, say what you want about the manager and about the rest of that team. That's their attack fixed. If they get Mbuemo and they've already got
No,
Cunha,
but
that's their attack fixed.
Wasn't this
What the
literally?
Nah.
This was literally
Ornstein, Bomba, and it's not for us. These
Go in
motherfuckers
there.
get away with
fix
everything,
your
man.
team, right? Go get Cunha. Go get Mbuemo. You fix your fucking attack.
Not really
That's
though,
their attack
because
fixed.
Cunha shouldn't be seen as the striker.
I promise
He
you.
should be seen as the cam.
No, they've got 3 guys in that attack because I saw Rance talking about this. They've now got 3 guys, all of which can play 10 and all of which can play striker. And Buemo, Cunha, and Xerxes can all play striker and can all play 10 in that team. That's 3 guys they can
Xerxes.
rotate.
Yeah,
So
I
if
forgot about that
there's
guy.
3 guys they can rotate.
And their young winger is probably going to play. Either he plays.
I was going to say, and that means you've got Kobe as potential backup in that position, bro. Fuck, man.
I'm saying this is how easy you fix your.
Why
Yeah.
these motherfuckers, they always fucking get away with it.
Do you know what I want us to do?
Hey,
Do you know what I want us to do?
Listen, Champions League, no Champions League trophy or no trophy. If they're serious, they can fix their team, right? That was my whole thing with Manchester United. If they're serious, they can fix their team. So get these kind of guys off the table, so it's not even a consideration.
In my opinion, Chelsea, go and grab Eze by his neck, by his collar, and drag him here. I don't care how high Crystal Palace is right now. I don't care how drunk they are on the trophy. You are Chelsea.
Go get
That's
Semenyo.
my opinion.
Come on, just get. He's not.
Semenyo.
Mbuemo is so much better, but just go get Semenyo.
I would love a Barry Eze off the left. Please bring. I'm saying the club should go and look there, but I don't know. That's what I say. Go in the league, get somebody who plays in the league, somebody who can score you a goal, and it's technically great. Eze brings you everything that Gittens can bring you with more assured metrics. But I don't know.
That is nuts. Right, let me get through these last few super chats quickly. Big up to Jiggy saying, can't ignore the fact the market just isn't that strong. What left-winger strikers of world-class quality are actually available. That's the argument we've been having through a lot of this show. Like, the only ones that have names that we're interested in have such mad price tags overall that they just don't seem realistic. Osimhen and Leao. So it's like, shit. We just gotta like pick one and just hope we've picked the right one. Sadly, like this is just where we are. Big up JDN saying 5th, 3rd, 4th, 4th, 3rd, the last 3 years, 5 years under Roman. Basically around where we are now. Obviously with some cup trophies, which I hope we take a lot more seriously next season. I'll be fuming if we throw away the cups like we did this season. Like I'm not accepting that next season.
And in my opinion,
big up Irish Yellow saying we'll end up like Arsenal, 20 years, no trophy. Brother, we just won one.
Yeah, give it a break now, Chai. Please, man.
Come on, bro.
Unless he meant top trophy, which I still don't think will happen, but
like a major honor like that could still happen. At least we could say we've progressed this season. I'm not going to say we're going to go 20 years without a trophy. Or if you're talking about a Premier League specifically, I fucking hope not. That's what I'm going to say. I fucking hope not. Because if you said 20 years no league, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. But yeah, big up everybody. Big up to the panel for jumping in as always. Jay, you're always welcome on as well whenever you want. Big up everyone. Yeah. Blessed for jumping on, man. It's been a really good discussion. Really appreciate it. We're going to send everybody over to Hassam because I'm live there for A-listers. So everybody head over there and just call him a fraud. Everyone just spam fraud in the chat. And we'll see you lot soon. Big up. Up the Chelsea.